early in the year. We weren't expecting too much that day, but we were pleasantly surprised when we went home, and I'm sure the case will be the same today. Team all assembled here. Good afternoon to you, Grubbycations. Oh, he's not quite ready. Good afternoon to you, Dale Smith.
Yes, good afternoon, Rob, and looking forward to this afternoon's festivities more than anything. We like to come out here for a bit of a feed on a cold, wintry day, so looking forward to that. But look, the game itself should be good, I think. Winchelsea now getting some numbers back into their side, and from all reports, Anakie are still finding their feet, but are getting better each week, so they tell me. So let's hope that be the case.
And Grubby, you're looking forward to Elizabeth Leake's half-time spread as well?
Oh, too right I am. As always, with all clubs, they do a fine job, but look, we got out here a bit early. I went round Smitty's for a magnificent breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was as good as the Great Western last week, but it was bloody close, I'll tell you. It was he just kept throwing them out, muffin after muffin, and I just kept eating them.
Oh, you went home this time rather than to the pub?
Yes, went
good.
out to sunny Bannockburn, 25 out there it was, only 2 degrees less than Werribee. And I went out there, but we got here a bit early, and we watched the seconds. I must admit, I was expecting an absolute whitewash and not even watch the game, because Anakie didn't even score in the seconds last week, and I thought, but I was really surprised. They've kicked 3-3. I know the Winch is 6-11. Not so much it's just a bad effort, but a good effort, sorry. They're just having a go, and it's been good to watch. It's been actually entertaining to watch. And that tells me that no matter what the scores in the senior game, I think we're going to have an entertaining game here today. So if you're thinking about going for a walk with a dog and that, don't. Listen to us, watch us on the YouTube, because I think you might be pleasantly surprised. I reckon it'll be a good game out here today.
I wholeheartedly agree. And as far as Winch's future go, delighted to see a little skinny fella running around out in the wing. There's no junior structure here. Would have been playing under 17s if possible, but Jack Todd, the son of Michael, who coached here many years ago, club best and fairest winner twice, brilliant GFL player, and the brother of Vinny, who was a Matheson medalist. You probably would have crossed paths with them, Dale, would you?
I played schoolboys footy with Mick.
Yep.
And schoolboys cricket with Mick.
Yep.
So I know Mick and I know Vinny as well. So yeah. So which is his son?
Young Jack, skinny fella, number 35 on the outer wing. Not much body in him yet, but I'm sure he's got some skill.
Well, he's already taller than the old man.
Yeah, he is.
Was he on the team sheet?
He's seconds.
Seconds, mate.
He's running around here in the seconds.
He's out there now.
Oh, okay. Now, well, before you keep going, you may well see a 15 or 16-year-old run out with Anakie firsts today. And Jet Mills, his name is, he finished the under-15s with Anakie, and that's as high as they go. And he really had nowhere else to go. Or he had to go somewhere else if he was going to play junior football. So he decided to stay at Anakie. He's been having a kick in the seconds, and he's been going that well that they've decided to give the kid a go in the first. So it'll be his debut, so we'll look forward to seeing him get a few kicks too.
Love those stories.
Yeah, they're great.
Really
great.
Good.
He's stuck with the club, as are all these blokes, and he's got a game in the first, and let's hope he does really, really well.
We're going to have a quick look at the other games, because later on we have Daniel Gresky, president of the Winch Footy Club. He's currently running around out on the ground. He's coming over to chat to us. Walking around out on the ground. Approaching his 250th game with the club, and also Wayne Cuthbertson, who's deputising for the best president in the GDFL, apart from Neville Whitley, of course, who's having a 50th birthday weekend up on the Murray, I believe. Heath Menhenman, who was a great mate of yours, Grubby.
Well, Heath Menhenman, he is the best president. That includes Neville Whitley, as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, Nev. No, look, he's a wonderful man, and a very, very happy 50th birthday. I must admit, I thought you were quite a bit older than that, but
he looks not. A lot older.
Yeah, he looks a lot older, Heath, but he's up the Murray, and I tell you what, I hope you have a magnificent weekend, mate, because the work you put into the Anakie Footy Club, you bloody well deserve it, champ. Good on you.
Well, Wayne's coming in as well, so they'll be joining us together for a chat, but before that, gentlemen, let's go through the games, because I reckon this is a really, really interesting round, and it could kickstart a couple of clubs' finals campaign, or it could completely finish them. So let's go to a very important game at Bellpost Hill. They're playing Thompson. I know Thompson are very excited. John Mitchell was pumping their tyres up this morning, Grubby, but if they don't win this, they're cooked probably.
Well, you wouldn't believe it, because on the way in, Johnny Mitchell was telling us how that many blokes were out there and they're gone. And then he gets on the radio and completely says the 100% opposite. He's got to
go there for afternoon tea, though. That's
yeah, that's right. But this is the real tough one, because we haven't seen Thompson since early in the year when they were unimpressive, and all of a sudden they've got better. So, they're better players are playing. But I don't know if John O'Casey's playing. He said he might have a hammy on. John O'Casey's just starting to play really good footy. McLeod's injured. If that's the case, I'm going to lean towards Bellpost Hill up there. I thought they were good against Werribee. I thought they probably should have at least drawn it, if not won against Werribee. And they were really, really good. Beau Collins in the middle is a good player. They've got Jordan Sable, who's just come in. He didn't play a great game, but you could just see that he's played a fair bit of good footy before. So, look, I think it'll be a really, really close game. But up there on the hill with that wind and the way they play the game, I'm going to go for Belpost Hill to edge them out. There you go.
So you're saying that the team in the paper wasn't, or not in the paper because you can't read it in the paper because it's that bloody small, you need binoculars.
Well, you're starting to sound like Dennis Scanlon.
Yeah, no, well, I tell you what, it gets ridiculous. Like, everyone I speak to picks up the paper on a Friday to read the footy teams, and all the footy teams, not just our league, but all the footy teams, and then Monday morning to do the results. So,
oh, yeah, but if you want to go and buy a fridge from Harvey Norman, you've got plenty of coverage there. That's in big letters.
Well, that's what it's called, the Harvey Norman advertising, the Harvey Norman Sun now these
days. Oven. I bought a microwave during the week from Harvey Norman.
Do you get discount if you mention it or something? Mention his ads?
I get discount hamburgers at the Corio Bay Roadhouse now and again.
Grubby, there's a couple of key players that didn't play with Thompson early in the year. Wiseman, who holds their back line together. Another young fellow who you were singing the praises of, a young Freeman, a quick half forward. He kicked 4 last week. They will definitely play, so they'll clearly make a difference at either end.
They will make a difference. Freeman, when he first come back, I went and saw him, wished him luck and everything. I don't think he had the hunger to play senior footy early on in the year. But obviously, the boy can play. He practically won a grand final off his own boot. You know, he hadn't really touched the ball, and then he went bang, 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 and kicked 4 in the game. They won the game off that. So he's a great little player, and all of a sudden he's got the hunger. He's a fantastic player. I don't know if it'll be enough up there. If McLeod and Casey and that don't play, I just don't know if it'll be enough.
Are you talking Brent or Jackson? Or
Brent.
Brent, yep.
Yeah, Jackson's played a bit better too as well.
Yep.
And the other kid that's played pretty well all year is Fenavesi's had a pretty good year.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Maguire's back for now, so...
Well, you look at their team on paper and it's just probably as good a side as you can actually pick. They've got some options up forward if you're going to play the two McLeods, Davis, Freeman, and you have Westwood running around as well as one of the smaller forwards. I think they sit up okay. But again, having said that, Belpost still from the last time we saw it, McNamara comes back into the side, which hasn't been there. So that's an improvement. Gray comes back into the side, and also Fantella comes back into the side as well. So they add that little bit more experience back into their side. So it's going to be a great contest up there. And as I said, again, I think it's a really important game for both sides. But Thompson lose this, then they're going to really find it really hard, I think, from there on in. They've still got to play Inverleigh, East Geelong, and also Bannockburn, I think, in coming weeks. So
that'll make it hard for them. And the other thing with Thompson too is, when we watched them earlier, and I thought, and even under Johnny Mitchell's admission, they were a little bit slow and they weren't fit enough. Now, hopefully after these 4 or 5 weeks or 6 weeks since we've seen them, they've got that run in their legs and whatnot. With the Belpost Hill players coming back, it sometimes worries me. Blokes out for a while. Yes, they're good players, but sometimes they take a little bit to get going. And against Thompson today, if Belpost are going to win, those players have got to get going straight away. But McNamara will, because he could miss 2 years and come back and be best on the ground, Bo. So, look, I'm still going to go. I'm going to go for Belpost Hill, but it'll be a closey.
Very similarly, Geelong West still have a pulse, but they have a horrible run home. They play 5 of the 6 sides above them in the last 7 weeks, and the first one of those is Bannockburn today at Bannockburn. They just simply have to win. Can they?
Well, they can. They can. If Belpost Hill can go out there and beat them, so can they. Because I'm still trying to figure out how Belpost Hill did that. But they did it. So that means that there is a chance if West can possibly have their full side and play really good footy. If they win that today, it proves to me that they can beat some of those sides that you just mentioned that they have to play. Yeah. So that means they're still in. If they lose today, it makes it harder mathematically. If they lose badly, I think they're gone. Yeah. I'm going to go for Bannockburn because I just think they're a little bit too good. And I still remember that first quarter against Werribee down there a few weeks ago was probably the best quarter I've seen from a GDFL side for many a long day. And if they can produce that football, they'll win and win well.
West have troubled them, I think, in recent
times.
But more so at West.
At West,
yeah. So again, that's why I think Bannockburn can win the game. But again, when you get to the situation and West have to win, you know that they're going to put everything into the game and try and turn that result around. But again, I'd probably have to agree. I think Bannockburn again after last week's performance, you would think that they would need to find a little bit of form. As I said, I know we're still a little away from the finals, but you can't play good footy for 3 quarters and then get blown out of the water in one, and that's what happened. So, again, it's one of these days. It's like any football you watch these days. If some team is just a little bit on and you're a little bit off, it can make a hell of a difference. So,
yeah, well, if you concede 8 goals in a quarter, and then Corio leads you at half time, you're not in the very best of form, and West will give themselves a big chance based on that.
Don't underestimate, because we have seen Corio, and they've been okay in most games. It's been their kicking. This time they kicked, I think, 8-1, I think, at half time. Maybe I think it was Rob. So in other weeks that might have been 2-6, so they've sort of already gone. But, yeah, look, as I said, they're going all right, but there's definitely improvement from both sides, I would think, that need to be there today.
We'll leave the match of the day to last. Belmont Lions host East Geelong. We saw East last week, probably wasted opportunities forward, but they really seemed to control the game around the ground during the day, and I guess surprised us all a little bit. Do you think Belmont Lions can trouble them at all?
I think, look, I was thinking and banking on the wet weather, to be honest. I'm thinking down at the Belmont Reserve down there, down in that hollow, I think they would have played a lot better game. I still think they can be very, very competitive in this game, and I actually pick them to win the game. I was impressed with East last week, and I sat back and then I think they only won by 18, 20 points, 16. Whatever it was. And really, Werribee, if you looked at their best players, I could put 6 to 8 East Geelong players in before I put a Werribee player in. So I just don't know how to read that game, because that's the first time we've actually seen East. So they will need to play well. I think they've got the capabilities. Their ruckman goes okay. Their middle of the ground, they've got a bit of strength. They've got a bit of pace through the middle. And I was impressed with young Menzies. So they've got some fair bit going for them, East Geelong, but I reckon Belmont might trouble them out there today.
Grubby?
No, I don't think they will. Belmont have done a great job. I said this morning on hashtag that Bissett's done a fantastic job out there. They're building, and they have to actually get a couple more players in with a bit of talent for next year. And hopefully they can take a scalp or two coming home. I don't think they can make the finals, but they can take a scalp or two on the way home, and that'll make Bissett's year a good success. I think you've got to mention Brent Jarks down there. He's just been absolutely marvellous. I don't think they can beat East Geelong today for the sheer fact that last week was the first time I've seen East Geelong coached by Ben Bosley. And I never knew him as a coach. But I'll tell you what, I found out pretty quick, and I reckon Nick Smith and the Werribee people found out too, because he coached beautifully and they played to his instructions. Yeah. They went short against the wind and moved the ball well and got goals against it. They went in properly, they went wide and then came back. They did everything he asked them to do. I think he's a really good coach. They had players like Lowe, who I gave best on the ground. Rich and Nagawati down back were good. I thought McLennan was pretty well beaten by Daly in the ruck, but Belmont will have Evans, who's not quite as tall, so that'll give McLennan, I think he'll be back amongst their best today, and I just think they've got too much for the Belmont Lions, even down there at the Winter Resort.
Now, we mentioned Corio being very good in patches. A side that's really disappointed us is North Geelong. No chance of finals now, and of lately they seem to be actually going further backwards, even though some players are coming in to make their side look better on paper. Real disappointment. A Corio a chance today?
Look, I don't think so. But when you say disappointment, you know, like Keezy's good as a player going around. He hasn't hardly played a game. He's back out. The coach has now got a hammy. He's back out. One of the young Swinnerson, Zach, I think it was, he came in for one game, straight back out again. So injuries have actually... Toddy Hearn's gone down. So injuries have actually cruelled North Geelong as well. But it's not just the injuries. It's when they had these blokes playing and they were playing well, they could only produce their best football for a quarter and a half. And you've got to produce it for 4 quarters in this competition. If they can probably get away with producing that football for 2 quarters against Corio at this point in time and still win the game. Corio, I looked at the scores last week. No disrespect to Bannockburn when I yelled out, "Go Devils." I actually meant it, because you love to see the underdogs playing good footy, just like we're going to see out here today. But when I saw them in front, all right, we knew they had the win. We probably knew they weren't going to win, but it's great to see them kick goals instead of points and make them look like a football team. But unfortunately today, they'll play their heart out as well. But I just think North Geelong might be too good for them.
Shelley's still missing. He got 2, didn't he?
Yeah,
so he's second week. So with him in that side, it gives them that extra avenue to goal. So it would have been interesting, because North Geelong, as I said, I think speaking to a couple of the boys during the week, they only had 16 in the reserves last week, and they pulled blokes from that hadn't played for some time. They were even chasing, Grubby said, Sid Jones.
Sid Jones was asked to play.
So they're really struggling with numbers out there at the moment. And again, it's your, if you look through their list of injuries, it's your top group of players. You know, your Keys, your George, your Swinnerson, Toddy Hearn, and there's probably a couple of others. Actually, I didn't even. there's probably a heap more that I haven't even mentioned.
What are you, a parrot?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
You said that.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that you can't have these players at any level of football go out of a side and be competitive. But today they're playing Cryo, and again, they wouldn't want to take them lightly because I think they can give them a real run for the money. Where's the game being played?
North Geelong.
It's at North.
Yeah, okay. If it's at North, then I think they can win the game. I don't know if it'll be a great margin in the end, though. I reckon it'll be more close than we think.
I don't think there was a better example of the game that we saw when North Geelong kicked 10 goals to 0 in a quarter against East Belmont and won the game by 6 or 7 goals.
It's the only quarter they won on the day.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Unfortunately, if they do that again, it'll probably be enough to win it for them today as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Match of the day, big one. Werribee Central's Inverleigh. Werribee will be smarting, as I say, after last week's disappointment. Probably lucky to get out with that win against Belpost Hill we discussed earlier. They're sitting third and everyone thought that's where they stay. They lose today and they fall out of that spot. Very important game for them, but I know you're very upbeat about Inverleigh. Gentlemen, can Werribee upset them?
No, I don't think they can. I think at the moment, Inverleigh are the best side in the league and there's a big gap between till the second side. At the moment. A lot of water to go under the bridge till August, September, and Inverleigh's finals form over the last few years hasn't been that great. So I'm not saying it's over yet, but if they play the grand final tomorrow, Inverleigh win it and beat anyone by a lot of goals. They're the best side. I think they've got one of the best players at the moment in the league is Donahue. He's put himself forward. I remember we seen him when he first came in. He come across the half-back flank and he was just a good player. But now he's put himself down forward line and maybe a run on the ball, and he's as good as anyone going around. He's kicked a lot of goals. Dalton Garundle's back. Tyquin's killing them down there. They've got some good players, and their back line's so solid. They can kick goals. Their midfield. They haven't really got anything weak in their side that I can see. Werribee, on the other hand, I reckon they were ordinary against Belpost Hill and were lucky. Last week, I thought with the wind, East Geelong probably should have kicked 4 or 5 goals in the last quarter, and that margin should have been 5 or 6 goals. And I think they took the foot off the pedal, which gave Werribee can look at that result and say, 16 points at East. That's not so bad. Bull dust. It was bad because they were completely outplayed all day. They've got to come from somewhere. Now, they've got to find something. I think on that performance, I can't see them winning the grand final. On that performance, the improvement from there has got to be absolutely huge amongst the group. I thought Crennan was okay, Sam Brown again's pretty good, but you've got to get lift from blokes like Prismal. Daly's got to do more around the ground. The forward line, Boyd was okay. Young Wilson's been really good till last week. He needs to kick a couple. And their back line, well, I don't know what happened to them last week. They got dragged up the ground. And how many goals did they get kicked on them by kicking the ball over to that far side, grandstand side, with blokes on their own? I think Smith might have picked that up, but it was too late. They kicked their goals. I think they're not playing well. They haven't got a lot to come back in. One of the Linehan Cunningham's have got to come back in. There might be a couple more. But the blokes that they've lost, like Buck, Chesterman, and those, they're not coming back. They're out for the year. Tito Nyawella, they're not coming back. So they've got to make do with what they've got. Looking at their seconds were undefeated a few weeks ago, and you look like there was a lot of prospects. And I've watched them the last couple of weeks. They don't look like they've got that many prospects to come through either. So I think Inverleigh today are going to be too good.
Dale?
Yeah, no, look, I agree. I think Inverleigh are playing some pretty good football. And they've got a couple of blokes coming back through from the reserves, Toby Manganelli being one, Dean Muir both played there last week, and obviously they'll add a bit more to the game. We still haven't seen Hutchie yet. I'm not too sure how far he is going to be away. So
he's a worry, isn't he?
He's still got some. They've still got some strings to add to their bow. If they have a deficiency, they've got their ruckman and McEwen Walsh, but they then go back to, say, Dalton Grundle to give him a cutout. And again, when that gets to St Albans at the end of the year, for McEwen Walsh to cover the ground that he's covering at the moment, he might find that extremely hard. And then they're going to have to rely on Dalton Grundle. So they are going to be find that their I suppose their structures are going to change a little bit in that regard, and that's why Grubby said, they play a right till they get to there. But look, I think Buck Donahue is smart enough to make sure that things will work from. Werribee last week, as I said, were very disappointing, and I think the only thing that the coach can take out of it, Smith, is that they only got beaten by 16 points and played horribly.
But that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing because you don't. I'd rather them get beat by 8 goals, so you really have a good hard look.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Grub. You get beaten by 16 points, and you tell me how many good players they had in the day that may have won, and you can name maybe 2 that you could probably put in there. So if you can get that to an even position of 10 and 10 or 11 and 11, it gives them some sort of chance. They'll have to improve a lot to beat Inverleigh.
Well, if going by the system you say, yes, they can beat a lot of sides.
Yep.
But to improve that much, you can't beat Inverleigh. You've got to improve double that.
Oh, yeah.
But another question for you. You talk about the second ruck. I think that's the biggest problem going around in local football.
Yep.
The fact that too many sides haven't got a second ruckman. So I'll ask you the question. How many second ruckmen in this competition are as good as Dalton Grundle in the ruck? Not many, I think.
No, I'm not saying you lose that, but you lose him from that marking option in the forward line. And at St Albans, you need that player to come up. We know that you need the ball between the centre line or the full forward line and the middle of the ground. That player that comes up to that and meets it, he's the important cog. Yeah. We've seen it with East Geelong when they had those Closter and all those sort of blokes play that position.
Yeah, for sure.
They came up, they made that position, they filled that hole. The next kick went inside. So that's the type of player you need back. Now, if they take McEwen Walsh from the ground or give him a spell and you put Dalton Grundle in there, they lose that next player up. So that's where a Buck Donny or a Casey Meehan's got to come out.
I think they've got someone to do that, I reckon they'll cover that pretty easily.
I've got no doubt that they've got some options there to use, and that's why I said it's important to get those sort of good players through. As I said, I think Inverleigh win the game today, but because there's a lot of improvement needed from the Werribee side. But as I said, they go right usually against Inverleigh, don't they? They have?
I think the last time they played Inverleigh in the finals, they beat them after a kick up to the siren. Yeah, so and Inverleigh, Werribee won. But at Werribee, Inverleigh won. Donahue finally dragged himself out of the half-back flank, kicked some goals, and they won the game. So it's always been pretty close.
Yeah.
But I just think the difference this time is Inverleigh are better than what they have been in the past.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep.
All right, we might take a quick little break at the studio when we get back. Hopefully, we'll have Daniel Greske and Wayne Cuthbertson in the box. We're a very quick chat with them before the game starts. This is GDFL Match of the Day, Winchelsea versus Anakie on 94.7 The Post, the home of local footy.
Only on 94.7 The Pulse.
Welcome back to the Eastern Reserve at Winchelsea. Game seconds just finished. Winchelsea 7-19-61 defeated Anakie 3-4-22. In the box before the game, filling in for president of the club, Keith Menhennet. Wayne Cuthbertson, welcome to you.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks for having us.
And a gentleman who's still hot and sweaty and steamy and very stinky, the president of the Winchelsea Football Club, who's just literally stepped off the ground. Daniel Greske, good afternoon to you.
Hello, Robert.
Good to have you both in. Very important game for both clubs. We know Winch have been disappointing for lots of reasons, not necessarily of their control. So any wins late in the year are good. And Wayne, we'll go to you first because you're searching for your first, and I guess every opportunity you get to take a crack at that, and you'd look at today as being one of them.
Yeah, well, every game's a challenge, but Winch have been struggling a little bit, I guess. So it's a game that we're definitely aiming for to try and get some points on the board because we've had a very rough year, obviously.
Yeah.
But
what's been quite amazing, we saw you guys at Corio talk to the players after the game and the coach, very upbeat, know where you're at and still focused on what you're doing. We spoke to Daniel Bunworth again this morning. That's still the case. you must be really pleased from sitting outside the playing group to see them so focused and committed for the whole year despite the ladder position.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we had a pretty big turnover of players, but the guys that have come have all bought in, really good. I suppose we're after good citizens and good footballers, and the vibe around the joint's been really good despite how the results have been.
Yeah. Daniel, not necessarily great news for you this week with a word on Brendan Forsman not continuing as coach, but knowing the good person he is and the relationship you have with him, I guess plans are already in place for next year anyway.
Yeah, it was no surprise that he stepped down. I knew it a couple of weeks ago, and this will be his last year. And so we just announced it to our players just so they knew what was going on. That was the main part, and now we can go forward and start talking to people that we want to. And the main thing for us is Brendan sticking around. In the past, coach comes in to Winch, brings some players, they leave, and the players all leave, and we're back to square one. So the exciting part is that Brendan's staying, and that will keep us with those players as well, and we can help build with it. And whatever coaching structure we have, Brendan will be involved somehow, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Can I just add to what Rob said to you before, Cutho, about the focus? Forget about the focus for a minute. I stood over there earlier, right? Haven't won a game, may not win one, who knows? But the boys are having fun. They're watching the seconds, and to watch those blokes just run out there with the Anakie bloke, obviously there's something there that everyone's enjoying themselves.
Yeah, we've always prided ourselves on the fact that it's hard to get people out there, but once we get them to Anakie, we don't want to make them feel like leaving. Just that real community about the place. And like I say, all these guys, they've really bought into it. There's real togetherness, I suppose, of the group. Whether it's player number 1 on the list down to player 40, whether it's blokes that are water boiling for us because they're not getting a game, they're all buying in. They're all there for the same reason. So
on that,
it's been really good.
From my end this morning, I rock up here 10 o'clock. Anakie had half their reserves. Senior players are sent out of here at 10 o'clock in the morning. We've been in the same situation when you're at the bottom and haven't won a game. We're there at the moment, down the lower ends, but players are here at 10 o'clock, so you can see the people buying into what Anakie are doing. In our time, they used to roll in at 5 minutes before the reserves games play, and you're trying to put a team out there. It's from my end to see those people rock up today. I was just blown away to see so many people here at 10 o'clock in the morning, probably an hour before their team meeting. So
well, that's great. And I'm sorry for talking while you're interrupting.
We've had our best attendances. Like Tuesday night training at Anakie is notorious for being. We could be on a 10-game winning streak and you only get a dozen blokes on a Tuesday night. We've had high 30s nearly every night. Through the worst of it, despite how we've been travelling. So everyone's really a big part of it.
Who's going to coach Winch? Sorry.
We're not too sure yet, but
we've got
a few people. So
I saw Butch Shaw over there. Is he in the mix?
He's our assistant coach, and there'll be conversations going on.
Okay.
So who knows? We'll hopefully have something. If that's the case, we'll hopefully get it out nice and soon. And hopefully he's involved as well. Been fantastic for our club. His footy knowledge is first class.
It is.
We know his record as a player and coaching side with St. Joey's. He's been at GFL, so I'm really keen for him to be involved. What role that is.
Well, he might be a mate of yours. He might get you in the ones instead of running around here in the twos, mate.
No. Too old for that. So, I'm hoping that he's involved and hoping we can have something to announce pretty soon.
Daniel, just very quickly, you're close to your 250th.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It's hard to say. It's just something I've enjoyed playing footy. It's probably just a number in the end of the day. And as you get a bit older, and I'm 39, and I didn't think I'd be playing too much footy this year without injuries. And I did a pre-season just to make sure I kept fit. And I enjoy running around with the boys. And when you see older people that you work with, they always say you're long time retired. That's something I always say to you. And the other younger guys going, "You old bastard, what are you doing when they're playing?" So there's a bit of both ways. So
how old are you?
I'm 39.
39.
Yeah, but I still enjoy playing footy, and I know I'm nearly at the end. But to get that target, I know there's not too many people at Winchelsea who have reached that. There's some names on that I shouldn't be in the board with. The people that are in that 250 bracket, some fantastic footy players that are 125 years old. So, it's something I'll think about probably when I'm finished footy.
Cutho, your wife was the heart and soul of the place. She's probably doing a little bit less this year. You seem to have filled up. What is it that keeps you two involved in this club the way you are?
Oh, look, it's been a big part of my life. I've been part of the club since 1993. I first pulled on an Anakie jumper in the juniors. It's just that thing. It's like family. We were away from the club for a few years, and as soon as I walked back in there, it was, like putting on an old pair of shoes, I suppose. You just feel comfortable walking straight in there, and you get roped into this role and that role, and next thing you know, you go from running the bar to running the footy department, and everything else in between. But it's second family to us. Like Ailes has taken a back seat on the netball stuff now. But
with on-field, I know we spoke about earlier that we need a few more players out there. Is Daniel Bunworth and those blokes on the match committee already looking for players? They've got a few ready that they might sign up for next year.
Yeah. Look, even leading into this year, you'd look at the list of blokes that he'd knocked on doors, and a lot of them had said, "Look, we're already committed for this year, but we'll be watching you in 2021 to expect a phone call from you for 2022." So. Yeah, he's got a lot of contacts, and that was a big reason for getting someone from outside of the Geelong bubble, I suppose. That the different scope, the different contacts they have, and he's a pretty well connected bloke. So.
That's why I asked. Because the thing is,
definitely.
Years ago, when you had the Bissets and you had Camarotto and Welshie and all those blokes there, Cocky and all those blokes there, they were a strong side, and we'd all love to see Anakie back to where they were in them days.
Yep.
And we've never seen Winch up there. You haven't been in there for that long.
No.
And we had I think Menchie took you to
two final series.
Yep. And and 1 year you were 8-1, and then dropped away. All those kids nicked off from
Marcus Oldham.
Yep. But we'd like to see them up there too, because do you get sick of seeing the Invalides and the Bannockburn? Well, not so much Invalida because they haven't won the flag, but everybody I think here wants to see these sides up and winning.
Yep.
Daniel, big day for the club today. Black armbands for Don Warland, who's one of those homegrown locals like Darcy Parish. He's gone on to play at the highest level. Sadly, passed away a week ago. He attended his funeral yesterday. It was very solemn, but what a great legend of the place. The name Warland is, but Don in particular.
Oh, exactly right, Rob. Country towns, they're run by, you say the same surnames, and with Winchelsea it's the same. We have the same. We have Wilsons and Mathesons, the Warlands. They're still involved. And Donny was. I've never seen him play, of course, but all reports one of probably the best players to play at our club. Best and fairest winner, played for Geelong, true Winchelsea legend. So sad to see him pass, but today we get to honour him with the black armbands, and of course we said goodbye to him yesterday. So
excellent, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time. Best wishes to you today. I know that you'll still be great mates at the end of it, but it'll be a not brutal battle, but it'll be a tough battle out there on both sides, desperate for the win. So thanks for your time. Go and have a shower, Smelly.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Rob.
All the best,
boys.
fellas.
Thanks very much.
Good work. We've got both sides out on the ground. The umpires are in the middle. We're just about ready to go. This is. I'm starting to get really excited. This game's going to be an absolute ripper, actually. We'll have a very good round the grounds coverage today. Grubby's got no excuse today. Good internet up here at Winch, so he should have excellent round the ground coverage coming up through the afternoon, because we've got 3 vital games that we'll be keeping an eye on, as well as the one we're broadcasting live through the afternoon. And we're just clearing the box and getting ready to go. Grubby, you can start. How do you see this one going?
Look, me heart lies with a side that hasn't won a game. Yep. And I think that's what we all think are real, I know Winch have had some troubled times as well, but I just hate seeing sides go through and not winning one. And I think they might have thought that when they got Corio at home down at Anakie, they might have been some sort of a chance, and COVID buggered that right up by that they lose that game now. I'm not sure whether they can win one. And if Winch still had that 7 or 8 players out, I thought this might have been the game. But with Winch getting those blokes back, look, I reckon I just love the way they give it 100% at the first bounce, and they're still giving it 100% when the final siren goes. But I just don't think that'll be enough to beat Winch, but I hope it's a real close one and we have a dead set art stopper.
Yeah, well, I'm like you. I want to see the underdog win, but I didn't play much footy, but I played most of it here at Winch, so I've got a foot in the other camp. Just quickly before I forget, Dale, you coached and developed players. You're a Geelong and District Footy League fan. How much of a buzz did you get out of watching Darcy Parish last night?
Actually, look, I just said to Grub coming out in the car, I was going through some of the references about players that have kicked or had 40 possessions in their history, and there's only been 12 in that time, and he's done it 3 times this year. So, look, he's just finding the ball. He's just must be in a rich vein of form, and his explosiveness from the contest, his willingness to go and help and assist. He lays tackles. He's just got a real bug for it, and I suppose with his contract coming up this year, it's probably a good time to be looking at those sort of figures. So it'll be definitely helping out.
Did you coach him?
No,
I didn't think so. He would never have got to where he is today with you coaching.
No, the closest I've got to coaching anyway was James Bartell, mate. So he's about as close as I've got to coaching.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
When did you coach him?
Was at Bell Park as a junior.
What was he? Under threes?
No, I was assistant coach out there at 1 year to Brendan Tinkler.
Assistant coach.
Yeah, but I did most of the work with Jimmy.
Assistant
I did most of the work with Jimmy Bartell.
Yeah.
Well, he probably doesn't know who I am, but
So,
that's what I'm going to tell everybody.
I've got Nathan Ablett on my CV. Who can you bring to the table, Grubby?
Well, I taught Merv Hughes how to bowl.
That'll
and
do.
drink.
That'll do. That's pretty handy. So Dale, back to concentration. You're probably like Grubby, hoping Anakie can win, but do you think realistically they can?
No, I don't think they can, but I'm just hoping that they can stay in the game long enough to make this a real contest. And as I said, they have shown improvement, and speaking to one of the young kids that I did coach, they feel that they're going the right way about things. It's just a matter of time before they can get things 100%, but at the moment they're probably a little way off. They're just got to make sure they can get contest after contest after contest, and not fall away for 4 or 5 minutes where opposition sides will just hurt them. So.
And you'll be pleased to know that Kaylee Bale has started on the bench today.
No, don't say.
Thank God for that.
I'll tell you another thing. Before you go, this is so important. That's why I asked Cutho what they had planned for next year. Anakie are at the biggest crossroads they've ever been. But let's face it, we want to hope and get some players in and get back. If it doesn't happen that way, it could be the end of them. So, they've got to do something from now till then and next year. Otherwise, people don't want to go out there if they keep losing. They could be stuffed.
That sounds awfully dramatic,
yes,
but
it
is
does.
100% correct. And it's sad to have to say it. But
Yes,
it's
it
true.
is. And it's not been a smart aleck saying it, I can promise you.
It's not. Dale Smith, get us going. Big match of the day.
Ball about to be thrown up in the middle of the ground, and it's done now. Kennedy put his arm out. Umpire said that was high. Free kick is going to go to the Winchelsea side, and Dunkley, he's not the biggest ruckman going round, but he gets the handball away, and they run the ball forward through Floyd. Floyd gets the ball
down
to the half-forward line. Again, I think Tucker might have caught one there as well. He's a bit sluggish coming out of the contest as well. But again, this time it's picked up from the defence of Anakie. They bring the ball back towards the half-back line. Ball runs over the boundary line, so we're going to have a throw-in to take place.
He could be reported, that umpire, for putting the elbow up, I reckon.
Yeah. He's done some damage
Match review
there.
panel onto that.
I think he's done the jaw.
Match review panel here.
David Tucker's in a bit of trouble there. The ball out the back of the contest, and again, Winchelsea, they sweep on the ball. Handball over the top comes from Williams. Goes back into the middle of the ground. They look so they can't find anybody at this stage. Again, it's going to be picked away, and it's going to be O'Keefe who had the ball. He turned the ball over. Again, they're working pretty hard around the contest, and the ball is not going to come out. Umpire circles. He lets it go, and now they emerge, and it's O'Keefe again that gets the ball back towards centre wing. Again, players, they run towards the boundary line. Ball will go over, and we're going to have a throw-in to take place. Again, a similar position to that last ball, and it's going to be in the forward half for the Winchelsea side. So it's thrown back in again. Dunkley taking front position again. That ball out the back, pushing the back there. Could have been to Stevenson, but it was allowed to go on. Over the top, Kennedy. He takes the ball, and
Kennedy's got a real chance today to be dominant, Dale, because Jared Dunkley's a nice bloke, but he's not a ruckman, so he's going to be doing it on his own.
All right, so Kennedy now, he does get the ball down this time, and it's picked off there by Miraculous. He is tackled, brought to ground, umpire circles, and said he had he didn't think he had a prior opportunity, but they get the handball going again, and it's Floyd from the half-back line. Like the way this guy moves already. Goes into the forward line, Ford comes out, goes on the right boot, has time to steady, straighten up, and go towards goal, and he will kick the first goal of the afternoon. So Will Ford has got his first, and Winchelsea first. They have gone just 2 minutes first quarter. Commonwealth Hotel first quarter scoreboard.
Yeah, look, good footy, and they're the blokes you want to get the hands on. Will Ford. I don't know if he's had a great year, Will Ford, because he hasn't had the opportunities when they had a lot of players out. But today he will have, and today he might just show you how good a player he is, because he's a very good player. And I'll tell you what, the defence, they're trying pretty hard down there, the defence, but they just make a couple of handball mistakes. If I was the coach, I'd be saying, get the ball and kick it out and get it out wide, because a couple of little handballs buggered it up there.
Back in the middle now, it's Kennedy and Dunkley again. Kennedy tries to slap it, misses it, it drops at his feet, but he picks up his own crumb, follows up, but
they're going the wrong way.
Winchelsea kicking forward there through Grant, gets it down to the forward line and comes across. Hand pass there received by Burns. Burns kicks it down towards the goal. And that is another goal to the Winchelsea side, second. We're only 3 minutes into the Commonwealth Hotel first quarter, but that's the second goal on the board to the Blues. And that was kicked by, was it Burns?
Yep.
Yeah, James Burns, really good job. Great start, Grubby.
Yeah, look, it was. The first goal was beautiful football. The second goal, I'm honestly not sure how that bloke had 3/4 of an hour to turn around and have a nice easy shot. The pressure's got to be on from start to finish. Someone should have been able to tackle him, throw him to the ground. They didn't do that, and he just turned around and just did whatever he wanted with it. So Anakie got to tighten up right there.
So umpire about to restart the game in the middle. Ball thrown in the air, and again, Ruckman, they stand. This time the ball is tapped forward. It's picked up there, and the handball comes out. Again, it goes to Miraclis. He runs through the middle of the ground, and he kicks into their forward line. The first time they've ventured forward, ball gets out the back, and again at ground level, it's going to be picked up there and cleared by Windsor. Windsor got the handball outside, went to his teammate in King, put him under a bit of pressure. They kicked the ball. Actually, it was kept along the boundary line, but has gone over, so there's going to be a throw-in to take place, forward pocket.
Interesting. There's a number 45 out there for Anglesey. I don't think he's on the team sheet
Yeah,
here.
well, I don't think Anglesey's
there he is,
playing
sorry.
either.
Oh, Anakie, sorry. Bit of the old ballerine coming back.
That's all right, mate. I was just starting to worry myself. I'm thinking, what have I done here?
Wrong ground.
We've gone a long way today, but then we've gone that far. So the ball now from the contest is picked up. And again, they kick the ball back towards the goal square, and it's through for a minor score. Not too sure the Anakie player was there, but it's their first score of the afternoon. And they trail Winchelsea, who are 2 straight goals. And I think that was Kyle Ebel that actually kicked that behind from that contest. Again, the ball is being retrieved from beyond the fence. And Winchelsea, I think, through Floyd, he's going to take the kick-in duties. And after his first 2 kicks today, I wouldn't think anyone else would take the kick.
Good point.
He uses the ball. He's got it back from the kick in. He's going to run and use it again towards centre wing. Goes towards Dunkley. Ball comes out the back and will run over the boundary line. There's going to be a throw-in. Might have caught the stray finger there on the top as he was going for the ball.
The young debutant's just come on the ground, young Jet Mills. And Casey and McLeod are playing at Thompson. So
Okay, so the ball thrown back in by the umpire now. The ball comes out the back, and again the handball comes back inside. And it was from Baker. Got the handball away.
That's got to be holding the ball. That has to be holding the ball.
That's what they paid Grubb, so that's a correct decision. And young Mills is going to be... Yep, so
good boy.
The recipient's going to be young Mills. So he kicks the ball from just outside 50, goes towards the goal square. Again, ball comes out the back of the contest. Picked up, Floyd was there. Kicked off the ground and again rushed through for another behind. That was Goodwin. And they now move to 2 behinds, Anakie. So they now got themselves up and running a little bit.
Well, I get a chance, Smithy. I didn't get a chance before. Umpires are Mark Davison, Charlie O'Neill and David Irvine. With no games in the GFL or one and none in the BFL, we should get the good umpiring.
So the ball is now kicked long, and that's a good mark by Ford, who's presented right up on centre wing. He goes back inside. Kick has to be good. Actually was intercepted there, so Anakie, they got a chance here through Mason Rhodes. Got the handball out. The young fella there is back there again in Mills. He can't get the handball away. Umpire said this time no prior opportunity. So free, the umpire will come in and take possession of the ball on centre wing.
And that's the absolute brilliant decision, again.
So the ball again this time. Kennedy gets the ball down, goes to Rhodes, goes to Mills. He ran into Kennedy there. He goes back and tries to win possession again. He's done so. Worked pretty hard, got the handball away, and again they try to move the ball from the contest over the top of the ball. Knight, he couldn't get it out, but it's Winchelsea that come from the contest. This time the ball's kicked forward by Williams, and again Ford presents up nicely again, turns and goes quickly back into the forward line, and the mark has been taken out there, and Tucker has taken the mark. So Tucker now just on range. I reckon he's going to kick from about 45. Don't know whether he's too confident here because he's looking to get the ball off to somebody. Sees a short option now and he goes to the pocket. Kick was in the air, but again the player comes out. An umpire has paid either free kick and or mark. I'm not too sure. And the player to go back and take the kick will be Lee Ellis.
Well, it was a good kick because, yes, it was in the air, but it was way out in front, and he had to stretch for it in front of his body, which gave the bloke chasing him no chance of getting to him, so he chopped the arms and either mark or free kick.
So Ellis is now just going to come in and kick for goal.
He's a good player, this kid.
So he's right on the boundary line. He's a left footer, so he's on the right side for a left footer. The ball is going to go across the face of goal. Marker's not taken it. Runs back towards the goal square. Miraclis is there. Tries to force it through, and he will do that now for a rushed behind. So Winchelsea now to 2 goals, 1. Anakie are 2 behinds, and we have gone almost 8 minutes. First quarter, Commonwealth Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
Also comes out from the fullback kick to Ebel. He's now looking for an option, kicking out, looking for big ruckman there in Morris, punched away from him and over the boundary line. Yeah, just getting back to Lee Assel, he's the reigning club best and fairest winner, Grubby, and was one of the players who had a really late start to the year, so they'll be very pleased to have him back. So it's Dunkley again, gets it palmed down. This time Forsman jumps on it, but for Anakie there, grabbing hold of the ball is Miraclis. The umpire will say that he had no prior opportunity and will have a ball up.
Right, straight away, what they've got to pick up a boundary throw-in. See the kid throwing it in? He's about 4'1", so he's going to throw it short, be in front.
And Kennedy gets the tap out very nicely into open space. Kick forward for Anakie, but coming through is
yes,
Dale's nemesis, Bailey Cale. Kicks forward, but a very, very poor kick, and Anakie's defenders mop up. Ball goes forward, and coming through is Goodwin. The Anakie side's got the ball almost in the centre of the ground. Long, very high drop punt. Look, punched away very nicely there for Winch. Jackson Smith picks up the ball. Hand pass to Forsman. He drops the ball. Comes back to Cale. He can't handle it. Back to Smith. Smith hand passes out towards the wing. Henry can't control the ball. The umpire has suggested that it's Henry who will receive the free kick. Still lying on the ground.
If he can get up, yeah.
He got a bit of a whack in the solar plexus.
Now, two things. That punch away, right? Brad McKenzie used his body first, not his hands, his body, and then punched it away. Down at the other end, the big bloke at Anakie went up and just a lack of confidence tried to punch it through. You know, have a go at him. Mark him. Yep. Mark him. You know, and even if you don't mark him and they kick a goal, bad luck. But he could have marked that, and all you need is a little bit of confidence. And like I said, have a look at this. Sorry, I made a mistake. He's 3'6", not 4'1".
Henry made a bit of a blue there. He stayed on the ground when Ethan Floyd had the ball in his hand. I would have stuck them himself for a bit longer. Ball's being kicked back into the middle of the ground for Winch, and coming out and taking the mark is Jansen. He kicks down the line. It's in open spaces. Anakie are going to be first toward it, but it's beaten everyone over the boundary line, and there'll be a throw in. It's about 30 metres round from the Winchelsea goal on the outer side of the ground.
You see that kid give me the thumbs up? You love that in footy. Good on you, son.
So throw in taking place. The boundary umpire on the other side is not a lot taller, but he is taller. That throw in is a little bit more normal. Dunkley gets a very nice little tap down to Forsman. He's grabbed immediately. Ball is going nowhere. And we'll have a ball up. Still half forward flank, around about 40 metres around from the goal now. Dunkley again is using his body well against Kennedy and getting first crack at the ball, but it's come out of the back of the pack there, and kicking forward is Ebel for the Anakie side. Ball's on the ground in the middle of the ground. It's Bunworth, the coach, picks up the ball, gets it out to Miraclis. He runs around on his right foot, drives it forward, but taking a very, very good intercepting mark is Brad McKenzie. Very, very good player in defence
that
for
was
Winchelsea.
going down an Anakie player's throat, that one.
He hand passes out to Cale. Cale touches the ball to the ground, looking for options. Finds a little lead coming forward. It's Ellis, and under a lot of pressure from Jordan Kavanagh, he takes the mark in the centre of the ground for Winchelsea. Kicks low. Sawney finds the ball. Immediately plays on. Gets back around on his left foot. Tries to dodge around players. Got far too much time to move. Scrubs the ball to the forward line. Ford comes out, meets it on the bounce. He's immediately dragged to the ground. Morris gets the ball for Anakie. Hand pass across to a teammate there. It's Bunworth who picks it up. He hand passes it out wider to O'Keefe. O'Keefe looking to get around his opponent there, and a neat little kick for going forward, and it's taken by Kalbarczyk for the Anakie side on the half-back flank. He kicks it into the middle of the ground. Pack goes up, punched away. Players leaping on the crumb, but no one going anywhere. The umpire will be forced to throw the ball up directly beneath the scoreboard, which reads 2-1-13 Winchelsea. Anakie 2 points with 12 minutes into the Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter.
See what I mean, Rob? A good tackle down there, they clear it. You know?
Yep.
So the ball is tapped from the contest. Goodwin goes after it. It's kicked off the ground. It runs into the half-forward line. Baker goes and leads in the race of the ball.
Play here.
What was that for? In danger or something, was it?
Don't know. It had my eyes on the footy. I didn't see it.
So you go back to Goodwin of Anakie anyway, so he's been okay so far. 3 or 4 touches and looking to use the ball short. Bunworth presents, takes the mark, can turn and go, and that's what he's going to do now. Look to go long into the goal square. He goes looking for their full forward. Ball not there. Ball picked up there and cleared away. Mackenzie looks sideways, and it was a great kick out towards Force and went over the top of his head. Picked up there for Anakie, and it's going to be cleared back by Roberts. Went back inside. Dangerous kick. Goodwin had the ball, went in the hands of O'Keefe, and he spins and turns. It goes back to the goal square. Mackenzie in front. No, it wasn't. It was Floyd. Kicked off the ground. Ball runs back towards the goals, and it will go through for a minor score to Winchelsea. To Anakie. That's their third behind of the day. Kick comes in quickly. Floyd uses Mackenzie and back to Floyd. Elite user of the ball, goes short, and Sawney takes the mark. Sawney goes back to Floyd, continues to run. Players outside. This bloke knows how to play football, by G. And he goes long into the forward line. Kick this time wasn't good, and the mark has been taken in the back half, and it's going to be Kavanagh who transfers across the road, but goes to Rhodes. Rhodes goes round the body towards centre wing. Kilbarchik, that was a good play on words, Grub. Kilbarchik's got the ball, handballs back inside. The Goodwin was going to go back outside, and he did so. He's put his teammate under a bit of pressure because he couldn't take the ball cleanly, and that was Jordan Kavanagh once again. He goes long back into the forward line, and this time Budavalis is presented nicely. Takes the mark and will ease some pressure for Winchelsea. Goes back in the direction we came from, and the ball goes over the boundary line, out of bounds on the full. And it's going to be a free kick to the Anakie side.
Dale, I've had just got a quick look at my crystal ball. Can I give my 3 votes to the Yards Hotel best player now?
No.
I reckon I know who it is.
No.
I reckon if he continues to kick in from full back, he's going to get 10 touches just from the handball. He gets back again. So ball goes into the centre half forward position, tapped away, picked up out there by Alice. Tries to get out of trouble and does so. Gave the ball across to his teammate in Dunkley. Looked out wide, running onto the player of McClure. He goes back in by hand. Floyd this time missed the ball. Again, it's Anakie, this time through Marn. Goes back into their forward line. Kick was spoiled. Was a good spoil at the defensive end, and again they try to bring the ball from defence. Winchelsea, they bring the ball back towards centre wing, there towards Byrne. Gave the handball back to McClure. McClure goes over the top, and Floyd continues to run, but too much weight on the kick, and the mark has been taken out there, so Anakie will be able to bring the ball back again. This time through Ebel, goes backwards, has a teammate there in Kavanagh, so they go back further again. This time I think it's Morris that has the ball. So deep from one side, they go round, they transfer the ball nicely, got it towards centre wing, and the mark is taken far side of the ground. They look to bring the ball again along the boundary line. Kick had to be good. Miracles come up, couldn't take the mark. Numbers are with Winchelsea, and through there they would go through Jansen. He looks back inside, and the mark will be taken out there, and it's going to be Smith. So Smith now with the ball. Looks back inside again, numbers there, good present up, and the mark has been taken by Byrne. Has one for the afternoon, got the handball away, and they go wide to McClure. McClure, a little short chip towards forward. Will he make it? Yes, he will. Was that 10? I'm not too sure. And the umpire says, yes, it's okay.
And I think that was Floyd that got the ball over to him too.
Was it?
Yeah. He's presenting himself all over the ground at the moment.
Yeah.
And I like the way Will forward, even though he's forward, he actually presented himself a couple of times up here. I like to see him do that. It shows he's got the confidence not only to play forward, but to come up and get back and do the right thing down
forward?
there. Yeah.
Playing forward?
Yeah. Hey?
Forward playing forward.
Yeah, Will Ford.
Yeah, forward.
I like to see him play. He's playing forward.
Who's on first?
Oh, you're a dickhead, you are.
So Will Ford.
And it's raining.
Is in forward. And he kicks long.
It's coming back.
And that looks pretty... Oh,
no,
I thought they went through.
No, come back
Minor
behind
score.
the post.
Will Ford with 1 goal, 1.
Oh, dear.
Winchelsea now 2 goals, 2. And here 3 behinds. And we have gone 16.5 first quarter.
Might just keep quiet and let you go.
Well, it won't matter because I'm going home at quarter time.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming with you because you'll drive me.
Oh, yeah. How are you getting back to Bannockburn? I'm going straight home to work.
Oh, dear. Okay, Anakie have the ball at full-back. The rain is falling very, very heavily. I have a feeling it'll just be a little passing shower. Morris runs onto the ball, can't hold it. Miraclis, who will probably win Anakie's vest and fair, he's had a magnificent year, gets a handball out across the teammate, comes out to Ebel. Ebel kicks down the line, but Bailey Cale first on it for Winch. Gets around his opponent very cleverly to Dunkley. Dunkley to Floyd. Floyd hand passes inside to teammate there in Jansen. Jansen kicks down the line, but coming out defending strongly for the Anakie side is Morris. He gets it across to no, he's not. He attempted a handball, but Forsman's tackle forced the ball to bobble out, and he will win the free kick.
That's a
He's
great
kicked it beautifully to the leading Ellis, but the umpire has sadly said,
oh, he didn't go over his mark.
No, there's been the umpires are operating different games at the moment, so the previous one has brought Forsman back behind his mark, while the second umpire was setting up Ellis for a shot at goal. But the first one wins.
I'll tell you what,
Ball is back.
In the rain, that's a hell of a waste of a beautiful kick, that is, isn't it?
It is. It's gone across to Williams for Winchelsea. He has the ball a bit further out. Williams kicks the ball down pack forming, but it's Anakie and it's Morris who's going to come out and take, in the end, an uncontested easy chess mark as bodies were bobbling on around him. Morris's neat little kick, but coming onto the ball for Winchelsea is Smith, taps it out towards Ellis, but it's come back to Morris, the Anakie defender again. He gets it out to O'Keefe. O'Keefe slaps it on the boot, but it's down in the middle of the ground. Cale dives across, controls the ball, very cleverly gets away. He's still got control of the ball, weaving around through players. Hand passes across to Jackson Smith. Smith kicks the ball into the ground. It's Cale who follows up again, but O'Keefe intercepts, and a relieving kick for Anakie goes back. Coming out to take a mark there, couldn't hold the ball. It would have been a ripper if he could have. It's Copland for Winchelsea, or calls it Forsman before. Thank you very much, Dale Smith, for pointing that out. Anakie defenders coming through strongly. That is Rhodes. He can't get away, and will finally have a ball up right on the 50-metre arc, directly out in front of Winchelsea's goal. They lead 14-3, and we're coming up towards 19 minutes into the Common Nafeen first quarter.
So free kick was obviously given there. Well, I think he said he didn't make an effort to get the ball out. But anyway, I don't know about that.
Well, I think that's a mistake. I thought that was a bounce.
That's a genuine ball up, yeah.
Yeah, this young kid Copland was a nice kick to before, so I think he thinks he's in range. He goes long. It's not a bad kick. Distance is there, and I tell you what, it's been right on the line. And that's through for a minor score. So 2-3 now to Winchelsea. 3 behinds to the Anakie side. 19 minutes gone, and the ball to be brought back into the field of play. That rain looks like it might sit for a little while now.
Yeah.
It's coming through, so they run the ball from the defensive end now. They bring the ball out towards Kennedy. Mark is not taken out the back. The ball goes towards Sawney. He couldn't pick it up plenty. Miraclis does so nicely. Needs some options. Got a little kick away. Went towards Mills, but it's picked up. And again, they continue to push the ball forward. Mills went back and won it again. Goes by the hand. They're going to be picked up there by McClure. He tried to get the handball away. Under ball sits under a couple of players there. Says there's a push.
Push in the back.
And
He's
it's going to
called.
go to the Anakie player. And it's going to be young Mills with the free kick. So Mills now looks to go. Calls to play on by the umpire. His kick wasn't great, and it was marked on the half-back line, so Winchelsea will be able to turn things around once again. Ball is going to be kicked backwards by Jansen. He goes sideways, and they run the ball to McKenzie. McKenzie now looking for some options. Has a little bit of time now. He looks at his better options, goes back in towards the middle of the ground. It gets through the first set of hands. Picked up there by Rhodes. Got the handball away. Goes towards Knight. He is tackled, brought to ground. Umpire says, dangerous tackle.
He's paid a dangerous tackle.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, that was about as dangerous as stepping on a snail. That was ridiculous. That wasn't he didn't hurt him.
So Knight it is with the free kick, so he decides to go long into their forward line. Numbers with Winchelsea and in front. Jansen can't take the mark. Needs to get the ball out. Does so now. It was okay there. It was Windsor that got the handball out, and they run the ball across the ground now. Picked up by Williams this time. Goes to McKenzie. He doesn't seem to be too far away from his teammate there in Windsor, and the ball is now run. He carries one bounce, steps back inside, looks to deliver the ball along the boundary line. Kick is good. Mark is taken on the far side of the ground. So whether or not they control that nicely, Tucker goes back inside. Mark this time is taken out there by Forsman. So Forsman now has the ball just attacking side of centre wing. Options inside, but he's not even looking this way. Looking to go down the line. He goes into their forward pocket. Again, this time the numbers are with the Anakie side. The ball gets out the back, runs towards the boundary line. It will run over, and there's going to be a throw-in to take place.
I don't need an expert commentator to tell me that it's cold, Grubby. That little breeze when it zephyrs in here through that wind is absolutely freezing, but I don't think it'll last long. The weather map suggests we're just on one little cloud coming through the village of Winch. Ruckman go up. Dunkley flicks it over the back very neatly, but it's Anakie who run onto the ball. They can't get away. Winchelsea now through Grant, get the ball out, comes across to Sawney. Sawney gets around on his left foot, and a neat low little pass into the forward line finds Burns, who kicked the first goal of the match. And he will... He's looking for options, but I think his only option is going to be to have a shot at goal. He'll kick from about 47 or 8 metres. He's just off directly in front. We're 22 minutes into the Common Nafeen first quarter, and this would give Winchelsea their third if he's accurate. Very deliberately. It's a beautiful connection. It's gone very long, but drifts off to the left through for one behind only. So Winchelsea go to 2-4-16. Anakie 3 points. We're 22 minutes into the Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter.
So the ball from the full-back positions now is delivered to the far side of the ground. I wish they bring it this side because I reckon it's supposed to be pretty wet out there, but the mark has been taken. And I just can't think, might be Windsor again. He delivers the ball back in quickly, goes towards Ford. Interception there was by Kavanagh, but again, Winchelsea got some numbers. Kavanagh won the ball back again, got the handball backwards. And here too, as far as his teammate and Mahon, he's tried to keep the ball alive, but it's still there. The umpire says it's okay. They go short. The mark will be taken out there by Ebel. Ebel now goes back towards centre wing, a long-looking kick, but again, too much width on it, and I think it's out of bounds on the full. That's what the umpire's indicated. And Budavalis will be the recipient. He comes back inside. My mate Bailey Cale has taken the mark, decides to play on. He just ambles through that position towards centre wing and now delivers the ball back into the full forward position. And again, missed the target. A fresh air shot there by the Anakie player who was Leach. And again, now the players dive on top. Umpire says this time no prior opportunity for either side. And we're going to have a ball up to take place.
Ball's thrown up again. Kennedy and Ford this time. Gets over the back to Miraclis. He kicks the ball out the wing. It's running out towards the boundary line. Windsor comes onto it for Winch. He's tackled very quickly. Cale gets the ball. Hand pass it inboard. It's Henry who kicks the ball long to centre half forward. But coming across. Oh, he can't hold the mark. Miraclis. Ford tries to butter up and get the ball. But we're going to have a ball up. About 40 metres out from Winchelsea's goal. Things got a little bit wet and slippery in the last few minutes, and we hadn't had a great show before it, but it's got a little bit less great since. Miraclis grabs the ball, slaps it forward very quickly, but taking a very good mark for Winchelsea under a great deal of pressure is Jansen. He's played very well so far. Got an unusual left foot kick, but he's got it very neatly. But no, coming across to take an intercepting mark is Morris, who's done a really good job acting as almost a loose defender in this quarter for Anakie. Gets it across to a teammate there in Turner. Turner wobbles the ball. He can't get away. Well, that might have been an infringement against Miracles. The umpire said play on. It's back into the pack. Jackson Smith trying to get it out. That's probably more of a dangerous tackle than the one that was played before. Grubby coming through his roads. He can't get the ball. The ball's just flopping around, slipping like a cake of soap amongst a bunch of players. Slapped onto the foot by Anakie, driven forward, but taking a very strong mark is Ethan Floyd, who's given us a bit of a kicking display so far today. And this time it's a neat little kick gone backwards to Windsor. Windsor kicks across the ground, this time to Henry. Henry kicks down the middle of the ground looking for Alice. It goes over the back of the pack. Young Mills, who's done a really, really good job so far for the Anakie side in his senior debut. Gets it out, but it's Floyd again who picks up a crumb, and a neat little left foot kick from him into the middle of the ground and finds Dustin Baker for the home side. He kicks across the ground, very poor kick, and Anakie intercept the ball in front of Ford. Morris again picks up the crumb, kicks long down the line, and Rhodes takes a really, really good mark for Anakie. Breaks very quickly because he sees a player loose in the very, very open forward line. Bordervalis is getting back quickly for Winch, and he needs to. Mackenzie comes through, very experienced, but it bobbles out of his hand.
Kick here.
The umpire has said that Mackenzie was infringed. The umpire has given that from about 50 metres away, but he saw something that the other umpire
He saw something that the bloke 8 metres away didn't.
So Mackenzie kicks out, and Lachlan King, a young local, gets the ball, gets it across to Jackson Smith. He also neatly kicks further forward, and it is Williams for the Winchelsea side, who's been very, very busy in the first quarter. Gets down up. Forsman can't control the board. Ford playing for a free kick a bit. Falls over. The umpire says he was pushed over, and he quickly gets the kick. Gets it to Floyd, as there's a want of most. Not Floyd, as Williams, but he's tackled immediately. Bobbles out of his hand. Coming through now is Forsman. Hand passes it himself, but can't butter up, and it's gone over the boundary line. Half forward flank.
That sounds like a siren, is it?
2-4-16 and 3 points to Anakie. That's quarter time. We've only had 2 goals, Dale. Who kicked them?
Yes, the 2 goals are for Will Ford and Byrne for the home side. Anakie, as we said, haven't kicked one at this stage, so we'll take a short break. When we come back, go through first quarter action here and hopefully have some scores from the other grounds. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
The second quarter, brought to you by Buckley's Entertainment Centre.
Welcome back to the Eastern Reserve at Winchelsea, where the home side lead 2-4-16 over Anakie, 3 points. And we'll go very shortly into the Buckley's Entertainment Centre. Grubby dashed out, not quite back, but Dale, you've got some very interesting around-the-ground scores.
Yes, interesting. It's very interesting at this stage. But Belmont Lions are 2-1-13 and East Geelong 3-1-19. North Geelong 3-8-26 lead Corio 2 straight goals. And that's, again, 11 shots to 2, but only a 14-point margin. Bellpost Hill 7-3-45. Thompson yet to score. Werribee 1-3-9 lead Inverleigh 1-1-7, and Bannockburn 4-2-26 lead West, who are one solitary behind.
Yeah, so there's a couple of key games where we thought sides outside the 5 had an opportunity to keep themselves alive, but if that continues, I would say our top 5 is our top 5.
Yeah, look, as I said, it's the Thompson Bellpost Hill is a really strange one because Bellpost Hill, that's obviously a really good score. Now, I can't imagine we haven't got wind, but we can't have rain, so they might have both up there. You just don't know at Bellpost Hill.
But it would usually be blowing straight across the ground.
Yeah, it does. That's right. That's just there. So I don't know what's happening there. And Thompson, as I said, they're just not. I don't know. They're not functioning well at all this year. But Werribee and Inverleigh, I think a small margin in the game there. So that's a good start. We would think by Werribee. And as I said, the Belmont Lions only a goal behind East at this stage. So again, another positive start in that one. But the game here has been. Pretty much not a one-sided affair. The first couple of minutes were definitely all Winchelsea, but after that, Anakie seemed to be able to take control or gain a little bit more control back into their game. They haven't been able to put a major on the line, but again, that's going to be their problem for most of the day. They need to find a forward, but when you've got Mackenzie down there who reads the ball very well, and you've got a bloke Wayne Floyd that runs off their half-back line, if they can get the ball into those two blokes' hands, they're going to do more damage than anyone else. So I'm not too sure how they combat that. Because as I said, they're the two players that I would definitely be manning up on in their defensive end and then hopefully work the rest of their players through it. But we've had some good players out there. As I said, Will Ford's been pretty impressive. I've liked the way, as Grubby said, he's come up the ground to get his kicks and then he's gone back to the goal square and worked pretty heavily through the forward line. The other player that's kicked a goal is Byrne, and he's been okay as well. Copland, he's got a number of kicks, and as I said, he's just a stocky-looking bloke, but he kicks a nice ball into their forward line. They're pretty much winning through the middle of the ground, and I think if Anakie can turn those fortunes around, Billy Goodwin has been good for Anakie. Miraclis has been good as we expect him to be, and they just need to find a little bit more up forward. But as I said, some interesting results so far in this game, and Winchelsea just holding a small sway.
Just another one of those great little country footy club stories. We've had a man out on the ground playing footy. He come into the box for a quick interview, and he's now carrying the water. He's now carrying the water for the senior side, and that's the club president, Daniel Greske. Extraordinary servant of this very, very great football club here at Winchelsea, and there's one of the men that also keeps the thing going. Normie Badham, hello to you. Very interesting quarter. Winch looked dominant, couldn't quite get it on the board. Dale Smith, get us going in the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
So we're back in the middle again. This time the ruckman will go at it again. Again, they've had a bit of a change in the middle. Ball through the middle. It's going to be tapped out. It was won by Dunkley. Got the handball away, and again from the half-back line, they win possession of the ball, go inside to Smith. He tries to get in and out of the contest. He's been able to do so. And Kale just kicks the ball in mid-air, runs it back towards their half-forward line, leading the race for the ball out there. It's Turner. He takes it towards the boundary line. He's got support now, and they win possession. They go back by hand into the hands of Ebel. Needs to find some space. Does so and goes back towards centre wing. Mark is not taken, gets out the back, but it goes over the boundary line at the same time. So we're going to have a throw in to take place on the far side.
But some very interesting scores. Grubby's eyes have just popped out of his head as he returns to the commentary box. And we're going to
go at it again. Yeah, sorry, Rob, keep going.
Boundary throw in. Dunkley wins the ball. There's a new opponent this quarter. Roberts is in the ruck for Anakie. Kennedy started on the bench. Don't know whether he's injured or not. Bunworth gets it out the back, but it's intercepted there by a teammate. He kicks it forward, but Jansen tries to run up for a Winch. Can't. Mackenzie butters up, gets it across to Kale. Kale dodges around the players at will. The scrawny little fella does a beautiful job there, but tackled late and his left foot kick has gone out on the full. And
sling tackle.
Oh, no!
The umpire has suggested that Cale was tackled unfairly, and after he kicked the ball, and the ball come back to him.
No, he paid sling.
Sling tackle.
Not a late tackle, a sling tackle.
So Cale is going to come right across the ground to Mackenzie, who's in the goal square almost the back. So they're going backwards and across a long way. Kicks into the middle of the ground, and coming out to mark is Baker for Winchelsea. He kicks it out in the wing looking for and finding Floyd, but Floyd can't hold the mark. Young Mills, who's done a fine debut, he kicks the ball forward for Anakie, and Bordavalis comes out and takes an easy relieving mark for the home side. They lead 16-3 with 2 minutes into the first quarter. Can't take the mark there is Henry. Mills does a really good job again. He's certainly having a go there.
He's having a crack, the kid, isn't he?
There's no doubt about that. He's really working hard for his team, trying to inspire them, which is a good thing because that haircut's not doing him any favours. Dunkley again gets up, but Floyd comes through, picks up a crumb, breaks through the middle, takes a bounce, which is very odd in slippery conditions. He loses control of the ball, tries to get it back again. Coming through is Baker. He can't control it. That's a trip, and Rhodes from Anakie will receive the free kick right in the centre of the ground.
No, don't come out here.
Gets round onto his left foot, kicks long down to centre half forward. He'll be looking for his full forward who can't take the mark. That was Harding. Ball comes over the back of the pack.
Goal.
And, goal to the Anakie side. It's Wallace who picks up a crumb and kicks the ball low straight through the middle of the goal there. First for the afternoon, 1-3-9. Winchelsea 2-4-16. And we're 3 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment Centre second quarter.
Well, look, that was their problem in the first quarter. Someone's got to tell Daniel Bumworth, whoever's sitting on the bench, they came out of defence 15 times and there was a line of 6 or 7 Winch players every time. The time they did go in, they got a free kick against. But that time they went into the 4 line beautifully and they were able to kick a goal. Let's hope they can do that more often.
So it's Roberts doing the ruck work for the Anakie side now. Ball is Dunkley, got the ball away, coming across, and it runs towards centre wing, picked up and cleared away there by Henry. He goes into the forward line. Tucker brings the ball to ground. Again, Anakie now with some numbers in Leach. Gets around the first player and looks to deliver the ball wide. That's a nice kick. Had a little bit too much on it. Got through the hands of his teammate. Bryson goes back and picks it up again. He's got some running support outside. I think that's Rhodes. He takes it towards the boundary line. He might be good to see it over, and he does so now because there was a number with the Winchelsea side out there. And it's going to be thrown in on centre wing, far side of the ground. So ball to be thrown back in by the umpires. We said centre wing on the far side. This is thrown back in again out the back of the contest. Picked up there. Handball goes away. Miraculous. He runs back, goes on his right foot, goes back into their forward line. Going back with the fly of the board. McKenzie did well there. Got the ball to ground. Tackle there by Bordavalis. Player sits over the top of the ball. But again, no prior opportunity. So we're going to have a ball up to take place. Forward pocket area. Or closer probably towards the half forward line. Ruckman, they position himself. Again, the ball is tapped down. Ebel is there. Again, trying to force his way through the contest. I think that's McKenzie. He can't get out the other side. And there's going to be another ball up to take place this time. Umpire to throw it up. It's done so now. And again, they kick the ball. Goes back towards their forward pocket now. Pope was over the top of the ball, but the ball comes out of the contest. And again, Winchelsea with some numbers. They deliver the ball back. Burns sliding, takes a good mark just inside the field of play. So Byrne now looks at a short kick. Lock option was good because Floyd is pushed up from behind the ball and he takes the mark. Floyd just settles thing, and again a kick along the boundary line. A little bit casual. The ball is going to stay in. No, it won't, because Williams is going to run the ball over the boundary line, so we'll have another throw-in to take place. So if we go 5.5 minutes in this second quarter, is Winchelsea 2-4, Anakie 1-3.
Ball's on the centre wing, the far side of the ground under the Harry Budge Memorial scoreboard. It's tapped down by Roberts, doesn't go too far. Miraculous picks up the crumb, kicks it across his shoulder. McKenzie comes out, makes best position over Bunworth. Takes an easy chest mark for the Winchelsea side. He's looking for options up forward. Another little band of rain comes through at the moment. McKenzie kicks down the line, taking the ball on the first bounce. Is Rhodes of Bannockburn. He can't get away. Winchelsea come through again, but buttering up there for the Anakie's side is
well, that's
evil.
a sling tackle, and he's paid it.
Can't get away, and he's tackled, but the umpire has said sling tackle, as Grubby pointed out. That's probably the fourth decision that way has been paid this afternoon, so the players clearly have got a lesson over the back of the pack. Cale for Winchelsea runs on it very cleverly, backs away. He's got himself in trouble, but gets a quick kick across to Windsor. Windsor can't clear the pack. Coming through now is
he's
Rhodes.
paid a free. He's paid a free.
He's paid a free, and it's going to Cale, and he'll get 50 metres after the umpire got some advice on how that free kick should have been played, I'm thinking.
Well, I think he might have got some advice from me if I was out there too, but you can't do it.
And Cale now kicks long down to the forward pocket and finding a teammate there. Is that Floyd who's drifted forward?
Yep.
I think it is, yes. Start on the half-back flank, but he's in the forward pocket, and he'll have a kick for goal. There's no doubt he'll make the distance. He's given us a clinic in the kicking left foot drop punts this afternoon, but at the moment having a shot from goal. Wrong pocket for a left footer, but he's kicked it. There's no doubt about the
look at that for a kick.
The distance. He's cleared it by 5 metres and right over the goal umpires. Had a magnificent goal from Ethan Floyd. His first for the afternoon, his club's third. They're 3-4-22. Anakie a 1-3-9 with 7.5 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment Centre first quarter.
Just a little bit of ill discipline there. Not just for the 50, but when you get a 50, you get a few seconds to set yourself up in defence. And they never got back. They let a bloke stand there on his own. So they had to get back there. But I don't know, that sling tackle, I carried on a bit before because I don't believe they're sling tackles myself. But it doesn't matter what I believe. If they're going to pay it all day and be consistent with it, which they have done, I can accept that, and the players should know what to do as well.
Yeah, exactly. Kennedy gets the tap out for Anakie coming through hard.
That's too high.
Should have been a bit high. Kennedy butters up again, gets the hand pass back straight to Goodwin. He can't get away, and we'll have a secondary ball up right in the centre circle. They have not moved 1 millimetre after all that passage of play. Kennedy and Dunkley again. Kennedy double hands it towards Goodwin. He can't get away. Coming onto the ball as Zedekiah Copland kicks forward. It's Ellis coming out. He's dragged to the ground. Umpire calls play on. Ball wobbles out the back of the pack. The umpire blows his whistle again. There's been a either kicking in danger or trip. He's indicated. And it's going to be the aforementioned Zedekiah Copland. What a beautiful name that is. He's kicked the ball beautifully this afternoon, as is Ethan Floyd. He's got a chance to kick Winchelsea's fourth. He's directly in front.
A beautiful name.
Beautiful name, that.
Well, it is if you're an Iraqi or something.
It's centre half forward. I don't think he'll have any trouble with the distance, only the accuracy. He kicks long. No, he is come up short over the back of the pack. Hands through. One behind Winchelsea. 3-5-23. Anakie 1-3-9. 9 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
So the ball is brought back out, and Mark didn't have the kick on it, or they didn't have the length on it, and it's been taken there by Jansen. So Jansen now will put Winchelsea back into attack. He decides to go sideways. Kick is okay. Mackenzie has come up and takes the mark. Still inside the centre square there, so no closer to the goal. Decides to go short again. Lead-up player is going to be... Burn it was, yeah, but he can't take possession of the ball. Picked up there by Kovacic. He is tackled, and the ball comes out in the tackle. And the umpire says that's an incorrect disposal. And the free kick is going to go to Trent McClure, I think it is.
It is.
It is. So he's going to have a shot. And another left footer. We won't say it's on the far side of the ground, the wrong side for him, but... you wouldn't say he has as fluent as Floyd with the kicking style, but McClure steps in, chips at the ball. It's going to go across the face. Mark is going to be taken out there, and this time it is going to be taken by Alice. He delivers the ball back inside, and the mark is going to go to his teammate there in Forsman, and Forsman will go back not too far out from goal, and again, they improves the angle quite considerably. So Forsman now. Getting a pretty good side on the ball from where we sit here.
Oh, he should dob this one.
He comes in, shoots a goal. It looks nice straight off the boot and straight over the umpire's head. He has his first of the afternoon, and now the fourth for Winchelsea. They're 4-5. They lead Anakie on 1-3. Almost 11 minutes gone. Second quarter. Buckley's Entertainment Centre scoreboard.
I'm not even bothering. Not even bothering with your words today.
Oh, dear.
Not even bothering.
Centre scoreboard.
Just for the interest of the listening folk, the name Henry we're calling for Winchelsea this afternoon. Tom Henry is actually the brother of the Geelong blossoming young defender, Jack. So I don't know how he got to come out here at Winch, but I know they love him very much, and he's doing a very good job bolstering their numbers. Kennedy and Dunkley. Kennedy has put his arm on Dunkley's shoulder, which he correctly did. The umpire picked that up, and Dunkley will take a free kick in the middle of the ground for the Blues. Looking for some options. There's plenty of players leading. He follows through with a big long kick looking for Ford. Ford comes out, can't control the mark. Coming through for Anakie there and passing out towards Morris, but it's Copland who comes through for Winchelsea. Grabs the ball, gets it away from Ebel. Another pack develops. Coming through very quickly for Winch is Jackson Smith. A neat little right foot kick from him into the forward pocket, but punching away for Anakie and then kicking away off the ground. Hopefully the umpire doesn't play deliberate. He will say throw in, and that's exactly what I thought should have been the case. Many AFL umpires would have nailed him for that, but I think the intent was always just to defend the ball. So Winchelsea have the ball on their half-forward line. Fordsham's now going to come in and do the ruck work, allowing Dunkley to drop back behind play. He's up against Kennedy. Kennedy gets it down to his teammate there in Pope. Pope can't get clear of the ball. Kennedy's doing a lot of work trying to clear the pack, but it's Floyd for Winchelsea. He picks up a crumb, has a quick shot at goal, but it fails a little bit to the right. Through for another behind. It's the 6th of the afternoon for the Blues. 4:6:30. Anakie 1:39. 12 and a half minutes near the Buckley's Entertainment Centre. Second quarter.
So the ball is going to be kicked in for full back. Kavanagh decides to go far side of the ground. McKenzie, that was an incorrect attempt at marking, and the free kick has been given.
Unrealistic, I'd call it.
Yep, Kalbarchik, he was going to be the recipient of the free kick, and he is on their half-back line. He chips the ball towards centre wing. Okay, Goodwin come out, had the first go at it, but couldn't get the second. Ball runs back over the boundary line, so it's going to be a throw-in to take place in between centre wing and half-forward. So a chance to reset here for the Blues. Ball is thrown back in by the umpire. This time, ball is tapped back to the front. Smith couldn't pick it up. Kicked away. Goes back towards centre wing. Jansen reads that nicely. Comes out, gets the ball and goes back into their half-forward line. Player coming across there was Leach. Kept the ball in front of himself. Has done it twice now. Has got a little bit of space between him and the chasing player. Can't pick the ball up cleanly yet.
Look out.
Yep, that's got to be a high tackle.
I think that's a send-off.
And the free kick will go to Leach. He decides to play it and go quickly into the middle, and Goodwin comes up. Can't take the mark. Again, at ground level, he works hard, holds it up. Budavalis is also with him. He really can't ping him because they both had their hands on the ball, but he's going to. And unfortunately, Budavalis will be the recipient here. So Budavalis now, runners outside, decides to go wide. Okay, mark is going to be taken out this time. Burn. So he looks to deliver the ball. He's got players short, gets round the player on the mark. And now he goes long into their forward line, but Kennedy positions himself well. Can't take the mark, goes back and collects it, got the handball away to O'Keefe. And O'Keefe looks across the ground. That kick had to be good and was. Kilbarchik had it and couldn't finish it off, but he's got possession, goes back towards his teammate there who followed up. And O'Keefe delivers the ball back towards centre wing. Ball comes to ground. Pope was there. Young Mills is there also, but it's going to be picked up there by Dunkley. Goes to Cale. Cale gives the handball away to Sawney. Sawney back outside to Smith, and Smith had it and dropped it because it slipped out of his hand. Got the handball over the top. Goes to Henry. Henry looks up, goes long along the boundary line, and going towards it is Copland. He comes out. He takes a tackle and made it a little bit high. And a good call there, and the free kick will go to Kavanagh.
He's a bit lucky, that other bloke, with that high tackle, I thought.
Yeah, I do too.
So Kavanagh now was on the half-back line. Got Goodwin short, but he's not going to go there. Comes along the boundary line. Goes towards Bunworth, but at the back, the mark is taken out there.
The back.
Yep, you're right, says the umpire.
And 50. 50. Come on, mate. If you're going to...
So free kick goes against Jansen, and it's going to come back to Bunworth.
He's not going to pay the 50. He'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Fair enough. But, gee, lucky to get away with that too.
Yeah, Bunworth didn't even know he had the free kick, so I don't suppose the Winch would have had much idea.
Exactly. That's why the umpire said no 50.
Yeah, I think you're right. Bunworth has kicked down the line, but he's kicked it straight into a nest of Winchelsea defenders. 4 of them, and it's Dunkley took an easy chest mark. He's kicked down, but very poorly. He's missed Jackson Smith, and it's gone over the boundary line. Geez, the ball is really, really slippery now. The players who are not elite ball handlers anyway are certainly struggling at the moment. As a spectacle, it's dropped away a little. Let's hope we can continue the endeavour that's being shown to make this an interesting contest. Dunkley and Kennedy again. Kennedy gets it over the back of the pack. Ebel runs on, but Jackson Smith tackles him down to the ground. Can't get away. Neat hand pass from Williams back to Dunkley. Dunkley is grabbed, dropped the ball, but umpire said that he incorrectly disposed of it. Tried to handball, but it looked a little bit more like a drop to me. He's kicked into the middle of the ground, past his teammate coming through is Baker. He can't get through. That's a really good pick-up and also a very good tackle. The umpire said yes, he had long enough.
Yeah, but he let him go. He let him go. It should have been play on.
Floyd's got a neat little hand pass. He's kicked beautifully forward looking for Sawney. Hasn't quite got him. Sawney butters up, but it's taken away from him. Anakie's defenders push well down the forward line looking for Harding, but coming through and taking a relieving mark for Winchelsea is Windsor. I noticed he was in their best last week and looks a very accomplished player back there in defence. McKenzie tries to get the ball. Anakie player has it underneath him. The umpire has deemed, yes, that he held it in there. But McKenzie from Winch will take the free kick. Underneath the scoreboard on the outer wing, which shows Winch 30, Anakie 9, 17 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter. Excuse me. McKenzie kicks short and finds his teammate in Forsman. Forsman now kicks even shorter, can't get to Cale. He butters up very well, but can't get away from the pack. Anakie come through. Ebel takes a hand pass, gets around a teammate, but he's grabbed, gets a hand pass away very quickly to Turner. Turner can't get away. Another tackle hits the ground. Forsman grabs a hand pass out of the pack, slaps it forward, but taking a relieving mark for Anakie there is Roberts. He kicks across the ground looking for Kennedy, and he takes a juggling chest mark as the wet ball hits his ample chest down on the wing, but that is a terrible kick. He's kicked it straight to Bailey Cale for Winchelsea, right on centre wing. The slightly built young Shearer grabs the ball, kicks long and low into the forward pocket looking for Allison. That is a beautiful delivery. He's deep in the forward pocket, right in front of the social rooms here at Winch. Ellis drops it into the path of a teammate in Tucker. Tucker can't juggle the ball, and it's gone over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Winch's forward pocket. They're 30, Anakie 9, 18 minutes into the second quarter. So, waiting for the throw in. Players getting ready. There's quite a few players around the ball now. Ball thrown in. Tucker's in the ruck. He gets a little hand on it. It comes across to Jackson Smith. He's thrown out of the pack. The umpire has paid another sling tackle, and technically it's correct, and the umpires have been consistent, but we don't necessarily all agree with it.
No, not that one.
You see what he did? He actually tackled him to the ground and kept him in his arms so his head and body didn't hit the ground. That is not a dangerous tackle. Not a dangerous tackle.
That's the sixth one that's been paid for the afternoon. It's resulted in a goal to Winchelsea. Smith's kicked it accurately, so that's 5-6-36 to Anakie 139, 19 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
And I'm not trying to assume anything here, but I wish I had taken the free kick count because I reckon it's about 20-2. The free kicks, and I'm not saying they're not all earned too, but something's got to be done about this sling tackle. You know, I understand you've got to protect them, and if you throw them down hard, but that certainly wasn't a sling tackle. He caressed him to the ground. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, the rules might say I'm wrong, but I don't agree. It's not football.
So back in the middle we go once again. This time it's over the top. Dunkley gets the ball down, running into his teammate there, and that was Stevenson. Can't get the ball away. Umpire stands back and waits and watches, and now the ball comes out. So Anakie through Miraculous, get the ball away. Went through Leland's hand, kicked off the ground there by Winchelsea. They go back into their half-forward line. Forward presents up, takes it, ball, gets out of trouble, got the handball over the top, went looking towards Ellis. He was held on too. Probably could have been a free kick. Umpire had the whistle out. This time he's going to play it for a later one, but it's going to go to Ellis once again. So again,
Floyd.
Floyd it is. So I won't say he's outside range, but with a wetter ball now, a little bit heavier, it might make his task just that little bit more, a little harder for him than it was before. But he is a good kick of the football. He's confident. He's going back. He steps inside 50. It's come off the boot very nicely, and it is just offline and not by much either. Through for a minor score, so they move to 5-7 now. Winchelsea 1-3 to the Anakie side, and we've gone 21, but they hang in there. The ball comes out and it ends up in the hands of Leach. He was going to go, but decides to stop and prop. He's got short options along the boundary line. Umpire calls him to play on now. He goes long. Brings the ball out. Morris taps the ball over the top. Went back and collected once again. That was probably the high tackle over the top there again, but they never paid.
They're just not getting anything, are they?
Nah. And the umpire now comes in and takes possession of the ball. So Ruckman come at it once again. Forward, front position. Ball is tapped away. And again, from that contest, Knight had it, gave the ball back. Went to his teammate there, and O'Keefe got it to Morris. Morris cleared the ball from the contest. Again, this time the ball kicked off the ground, but only as far as Knight once again. Fends off, got the handball away. It's going to go back towards Kennedy. Picks the ball up, looks at his options, gets around the first, got the handball away to Morris. Inside had trouble, but he got a kick away, goes back towards centre wing. Bunworth comes up and takes the mark. So right on centre wing, he takes the mark. Umpire says he's got to go back a couple, and now Bunworth takes advantage and goes quickly into the forward line, looking for miracles.
In the back.
Oh, had the hands out. The umpire's paid it. He plays on. He's going to go long into the forward line. Again, the ball runs towards the pocket. Can they keep it in the field of play? They're trying to. They pitch the ball back towards the goals. Goodwin, he's done nicely there. Yes. He's going to win possession back again. Went on the right boot, goes back across the face of goal. Mark is not taken. Ball is going to be pushed through for a minor score. 1-4 to the Anakie side.
Must admit, I thought he put two hands in the back and pushed him.
5-7 sorry to Winchelsea. So the ball from full-back position is going to be brought clubroom side. That's better. And it was through Floyd that he brings the ball out, goes towards Byrne. Now there's a free kick infringement, it says on the shoulder. And he's pointed one way. Now he's going back the other way, so that was the right decision. Goes to Byrne. Byrne towards centre wing. Mark is taken out there. And Stevenson takes the mark. Defensive side of centre wing. Called the play on now by the umpire. Running player coming past is Cale. Got around the first player. Took a bounce. The ball did come back to him. Then he slipped out of his hand. Put himself under a little bit of pressure. He's going to get caught. Got the handball away into the hands of Henry. He goes back into their forward line. And it's going to be cleaned up there. Morris had it. The ball came out in the tackle. It's been pushed out of the contest. Runs back towards the boundary line. Ebel is back there. Kavanagh it is. And he is pushed over the boundary line. And we're going to have a throw-in to take place.
Grubby, I know you were talking a lot about Morris and Karai, and I just picked him as a ruckman, but he's done a hell of a good job back there today.
He's played both in his career, but as a ruckman, he's going to get hurt. They're resting him away from it.
Yeah, he's done a really good job defending today. So it's coming across as Alice. He gets a hand pass across to Sawney, but it's out of bounds again in front of the social club rooms at Winchelsea. The score is 5-7-37. Anakie 1-4-10. 23 and a half minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter. Another shallow boundary line throw in here. Dunkley gets it across to Copland. He can't break through the pack. Anakie player picking up the crumb there is
good.
Collins. It gets it across to Harding. Harding neatly hand passes to Bunworth. Kicks it into a very open 50-metre arc. In fact, there's nobody there. There's a few getting back there. Bordavalis gets the ball across to McClure. McClure on hands and knees now. Punches it forward in the direction of teammate there in Baker. Kicked across the body by the Anakie forward there in Kilbartchik. But it's been punched through, and it'll be another behind to their score. They're fifth. They're 1-5-11. Winchelsea 5-7-37. We're 24 and a half minutes into the second quarter, and there's a very tired Brad McKenzie gasping for air as he comes off the ground in front of our commentary box here, and he's done a very good job in defence for Winch today. And
I'll tell you, with Morris, they've really lived up to it too, because there was a ball up here, but he made McKenzie come back, so they're making a point of not putting him in the ruck.
Yep.
But they're winning in the ruck anyway, so they're not losing much today.
Yep. That's a good point. So it's Floyd now for Winchelsea, kicking out as he normally does. Another beautiful pass out on the wing, finds Henry. Picks up on the half volley, quickly hand passes it across to Windsor. Windsor kicks down the line. Burns drops a mark, but he butters up back to Windsor. He tries to get away, can't. The umpire says he's disposed of it incorrectly, and it's Kilbartchik for the Anakie side will take the ball, kick long into centre half forward, looking for his teammates. A really strong mark there from Wallace for the Anakie side. Their only goal kicker this afternoon.
And
he gets it forward quickly with a beautifully placed kick. And the very well-built full forward for the Anakie side, Anthony Harding, has taken a mark 12 metres out directly in front and should kick their second goal for the afternoon. That was a very good passage of play.
It was, and Anakie have had trouble disposing of the ball, whereas I thought Winchelsea's disposing it well. But that was beautiful disposal, and that's what they need. Give their forwards a chance by putting it right on their chest.
So Harding comes in now. Neat off the boot. Umpire doesn't move. The players have all run to him. He must be a very popular player in the club this afternoon because all 18 of them have gone to him. I don't know whether he's having a debut as well, Grub, but he's a very, very popular young man anyway. And kicked the second goal for the afternoon for the Roos.
I'll ask about him because he is a little bit what I call rotund.
That's a very good description, Richard.
And I don't know, obviously they were very happy with him kicking the goal, but I tell you I've just worked out who's missing, who I thought kicked their goals against Corio was Gillett.
Yeah.
Where's Gillett? Because
he was picked.
Was he?
Night, yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge loss for him up there because they've only got this young kid, and they haven't delivered the ball in there well, but with Gillett in there, he kicked goals that day and looked good, and they could have been a couple of goals closer with Gillett in that side. So, but Winch have had their injury problems too, so,
They certainly have.
I'm sorry to see him not playing that, boy.
So Roberts doing the ruck work. Ford's also in there doing the ruck work. Ford over the top as the siren sounds to end the first half here at the Eastern Reserve, and we'll see Winchelsea going at 5-7. They will lead Anakie on 2-5. Goal kickers, all individuals so far, and it's Ford, Floyd, Smith, Byrne and Forsman. And for the Anakie side, Wallace and Harding all or both have one. So we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll go through first half action here from the game at Winchelsea and Anakie, and you're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
Righto, here we go. Let's get back quickly. Sorry, we're...
The third quarter, brought to you by De Grandy's Sports and Cycles.
Welcome back to Eastern Reserve, Winchelsea, 5-7-37, Anakie 2-5-17. We're about to get underway. Dale Smith, call some action.
Yes, ball back into play now, and the ruckmen have gone at it. Ball comes through the middle of the ground. It's picked up there and tried to clear by O'Keefe. Ball comes towards centre wing. Leading the race for the ball there was Floyd. Can't pick it up cleanly. Ends up in the hands of Dunkley. Goes out wide to Stevenson. Gets in and out of trouble. Got the handball away. He's got a teammate there in forward trying to help out. But again, the ball is going to be a little bit slippery. And as I said, it sits underneath a couple of players. Umpire's going to come in shortly. They actually, they've kept the ball alive now into the hands of Rhodes. And Rhodes puts it into their forward line. Mark will not be taken out there. Went through the hands of Jansen, but he's got some back up there. Cale, a little short kick. Wasn't probably the right kick in that instance. O'Keefe picked it up one-handed and puts it back into the forward line. Here's the crowd favourite, Moo, I think they called him. Got the little boot to ball. Goes out towards Bunworth. Picks the ball up. Was he taken high? Umpire said no. Yes, he was. And the free kick will go to Bunworth right at the true centre-half forward position. So Bunworth now, I don't think he's got the distance in him.
At least it's a dry ball.
He reckons he's going to go back and line up from this position, so we will say good luck. There's not much movement further down the field, so he's going to have to take the shot. So Bunworth steps in now, kick from right on 50, loads up, goes long.
Oh, that's a free kick.
I think it was a free kick.
Yeah.
The umpire has seen it, and it was marked by the crowd favourite, but unfortunately the ball is going to go back and to Mackenzie. So Mackenzie now will be the recipient, and he's going to relieve some pressure for the Winchelsea side. They lead by 20 points at the present time. Mackenzie just asking for players to come at him, but decides to run now and kicks from the back pocket position, goes out wide. Marcus not taken. Good ball from young Mills there. Coming across with Goodwin. He couldn't pick it up cleanly. Stevenson did. Got the handball outside. And again, McClure. His kick went towards centre wing. Wasn't great. Didn't hit the teammate, but they've tried to win possession of the ball. It was picked up there and put down by the Anakie player. Again, they keep the ball alive, but it sits pretty close to the boundary line. And now he has gone over the boundary line. And there will be a throw-in, and it hasn't got any warmer since we left the box at half-time, I can tell you.
No, it has not.
Look, I know you want a free kick, but once you throw your arms out and say, give me a free kick, you've got no chance of getting the footy then, have you? So
That's
keep
exactly
playing the
right.
football.
So the ball thrown back in by the umpire, and again it comes through the contest, picked up there. Copland got the handball away. Missed Stevenson, but he tries to go back and win possession and does so. Got the handball back into the hands of Smith, and Smith gives the ball away, goes to Williams. Williams now has a little bit of time, took to Mark and played on, went out wide looking for Floyd. Has a sit over the top, didn't take the mark, recovers quickly. Got the handball out to Sawney. Sawney's got a teammate over the top, went to him, but again the kick wasn't good. Into the hands or went towards Alice. Good defensive work there from Morris, and sees the ball over the boundary line, and there will be a throw-in to take place in the forward pocket.
Grubby, you're the expert comments man. Could you give us a rundown on those chocolate slices at half-time? Did you rate them?
No, I didn't have any.
Oh, they were magnificent.
I'm not well enough to eat them, mate, I can tell you. I had one pie and one sandwich, that's all I had.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Mrs. Leake should do the right thing and bring us out a plate, shouldn't you?
Yeah, it would be handy. We're just waiting for the ball to come back from out of the crowd. The boundary umpire's not allowed to go and get it, it seems. So he's waiting on a...
Well, I think he'd need a ladder to get over the fence, to be quite honest.
And he's not the little one.
No.
Anyway, he finally has it back. O'Keefe from Anakie was kind enough to go and get it for him. The boundary umpire will throw in about 20 metres out from Winchelsea's goal. Coming across is Morris to do the ruck work. He completely misses it. Ball falls on the ground. But Anakie slap it out quickly forward, but it's landed in the hands of Alice. And he's only about 35 metres out. He's on a 45-degree angle on the wrong side for a left footer, but he will certainly be having a shot for goal without too much doubt. We're only 4 minutes into the third quarter. This is the De Grandy Sport and Cycle third quarter, and it's Lee Ellis, the reigning best and fairest winner here at Winchelsea, has the ball. Played a pretty handy game this afternoon. He comes in, kicks the ball curling around very, very nicely indeed. The umpire likes it. It's right through the middle, takes Winchelsea to 6 goals, 7-43. Anakie at 2-5-17, 4.5 minutes into the Grandi third quarter.
I'd love to comment on it, but I've got more important things to do. Belmont Lions 3-1-19, East Geelong 9-5-59, North Geelong 7-13-55, the Corio 3-2-20, Bellpost Hill 9-10-64, Thompson 4-2-26, Werribee 3-5-23, Trail Inverleaf 8-4-52, and Bannockburn 5-4-34, leading West 2-4-16.
So back in the middle we go again. Ford now doing the ruck work up against Kennedy. But they just jump at it. Ford get the ball down. Stevenson runs onto the ball. Has trouble picking it up. Actually turned the ball over. Kilbarchik has it now. Got the handball away. Go in towards Ebel. And again, Miraculous. He comes in. Tries to lend support and get in and out of the contest. Ball is not going to come out. And we're going to have a throw-in to take place. So the ball now thrown up by the umpire once again. Again, the ball tapped out of that ruck contest. Kennedy goes after it at ground level. Sawney's there, but it's picked up there and cleared away by Ebel, I should say, and he goes into the half-forward line. Goodwin over the top of the ball. Winchelsea through Dunkley to get the handball out, but it's interception there by O'Keefe. Runs to 50, looks up, goes long, back towards the goal square. A ball out of the contest, tapped back towards the line, and Budavala says, I'm just going to take that ball over. So a minor score to the Winchelsea side, and that moves them to 2-6. And I actually forgot to write that last goal down for Winchelsea. So they're 7-7. Ball comes out. Now, there's a free kick being given.
What?
And the free kick is going to go to Baker. So Baker has it.
I think the other umpire was distressed about that one. He was close and didn't pay it.
So Baker now transfers the ball back inside. It's a nice looking kick into the hands of Tucker. Tucker now decides to go, and he's looking for some options. There's not too many around, so he handballs out the back, put his teammate under a little bit of pressure. It was okay. Windsor has a player out wide. McKenzie is going to take the mark. So McKenzie now chips up over the top. This time that was okay. The ball delivers back inside, ends up in the hands of Smith, and he will settle things down. He goes out wide again, so they've got plenty of players in some space. The ball is delivered back inside to Copland, and he takes the mark just outside 50. Goes on the right boot this time and goes long into the pocket. Tucker was pushed down there, and he has taken the mark.
It's a lot of loose players there, so Anakie have Grubby, they've sort of lost that passion for defence that they had certainly that day against Corio and Patches in the first half today.
Yeah, a little bit, but at least they're forcing them wide. At least they're forcing them wide to make these goal shots very, very hard. But it didn't matter to this kid, I don't think.
No, he has done it. It's a goal to Tucker. Winchelsea 7-7-7, 49. Now Anakie 2-6, 18. Kicked a lot of goal for Winch over the last 3 or 4 years. Has Tucker and David Tucker. And the Blues have probably got a fair old grasp on the game at the moment, Grubby.
Yeah, look, they have. And look, I'm just a bit... I'm not quite sure I agree with you 100% on their defence. I just think their midfielders and the blokes running down the ground have got plenty of time to put it wherever they want. I think to help the defence out, Anakie have got to put more pressure on the midfielders coming through to make the kicks just a little bit skew-if and give the defence a chance. Because that was a beautiful kick that hit Tucker, and there's nothing the Anakie boys could do about it. So they've got to tighten up in the middle and put a bit more pressure on.
So back in the middle we go once again. This time Ford tries to jump early, but it's Kennedy that gets the ball down. Ford went after the ball, collected it, got in and out of trouble, got the handball backwards to Smith, and Smith now on the right boot puts the ball back into their forward line. Henry comes out, couldn't take the mark. Again, they've got some numbers coming through there, and I think it was Floyd who tried to pluck it out of the contest into the hands of Copland. He looks up and goes inside, and that is a beautiful kick. And Ellis will go back, and he will try and kick his second goal of the quarter.
Well, that one blows my theory out of the water because they did put pressure on the kicker. It wasn't an easy kick. It's still a good kick, but you just can't leave a bloke sitting in the forward line like that. Somebody, and I don't know who it is, but somebody has got to come down and pick a loose player up, whether it be a midfielder or a wingman, I don't know, or even a defender. But you cannot leave blokes sitting in there on their own when they're coming in like that.
So Lee Ellis chips at the ball this time, and he's hit the top of the post, a minor score, so it's now 7-8 to the Winchelsea side. They lead Anakie on 2-6 and 9 minutes gone. Third quarter to Grandi Cycling Sports, third quarter scoreboard.
Look, normally the Winchelsea forward line, a dangerous man's forward, but in this weather, Ellis is. He's the danger.
So the ball comes in and it's kicked into the field of play. Byrne couldn't pick it up cleanly. Over the top of the ball, they sit. Knight try to get the ball out, and again, it's Winchelsea with some numbers around it. Ends up in the hands there of O'Keefe of Anakie. It ends up now with Miracles. His little boot goes forward in only as far as the teammate there, the opponent in Dunkley goes out wide to Cale. Cale can't pick the ball up. He's going to have another chance at it. Keeps the ball in front of himself. Now goes back and wins possession of the ball. Bit of pressure arrives, and they're working pretty hard this time. Knight's in there, and Cale. Ball runs towards the boundary line. Umpire circles. We're going to have a ball up to take place.
Well, there's some heart and soul went into that little passage.
Yeah, look, there was, but things like that can happen when there's a pack like that. But it's played in really good spirit this game.
Yeah.
So the ball's thrown up this time. Kennedy drops the ball down, goes towards Smith. Thorne is also there. Umpire says the ball has gone back over the boundary line. It's going to be a throw-in to take place.
No, I think that is the little boundary umpire stayed on this side.
Yeah. So he throws the ball in now. Again, forward front position. Kennedy knocks it out of the contest. Thorne just taps it to the advantage of his teammate. And that was Floyd. The ball comes back to Kennedy. Campbell's over the top into the hands of Bryson. Bryson boots the ball into the forward line, going back. Mark again, not taken, kicked off the ground. And the ball runs back towards the goal line, but it's kicked over and will be pushed through for a minor score. So another rush behind. The Anakie side moves them along to 2-7. And Winchelsea on 7-8.
I'll tell you what, if that kick off the ground had gone through from the big bloke, they'd have jumped the fence and hugged him, wouldn't they?
So this time the ball is kicked in once again. Floyd, if he does what he normally does, he gets another one back from the handball. Now he runs, got a little bit of protection, goes along looking towards McKenzie. He's up and had a couple of grabs at it, couldn't finish it off. It's Ellis over the top of the ball, and it was probably a fair call there. But the ball now comes out of the contest. The handball goes towards his teammate there, and I think it's Floyd who's come up the ground. And again, they hold things up. Umpires let things go. He needs to call somewhere, and finally he does so.
Just as I say that, it was on behind play by the big bloke and Brad McKenzie. Kennedy and McKenzie had a bit of it to do.
So the ball is stuffed down now, and it goes towards Smith going at the boundary line. The ball's going to run over, and that will be another throw-in to take place now. So we're just waiting now while the umpire takes his position forward, doing the ruck work. Must be his turn to rotate through. Ball thrown in quickly, forward front position. Ball comes from Kennedy, go back to the front of the contest, picked up by O'Keefe. His boot, the ball goes over the boundary line. Was it touched off the boot?
I think it was touched, yes, it was.
Says it was touched. So we're going to have a throw-in to take place.
I think the big question here is, when's Colo coming back?
Ball thrown in by the umpire. Forward tapped to the front of the contest. Copland did that nicely. Ran the ball back towards the boundary line, but again, kicked off the ground there. No way you can call that. And there's going to be a umpire's throw-in to take place. So again, similar position to the last. The ball is thrown back in. Ford takes it out of the ruck contest. Got the handball away, but only good as far as Goodwin got the intercept. Goes towards Kennedy at ground level. Couldn't pick the ball up. Again, Winchelsea pick it up through Windsor. He is tackled.
Oh, I don't know about the prior there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either, Grub, but the free kick has been given away and it goes to Wallace. So Wallace now, he's just outside 50. Miraculous runs to the goal square. They're going to go long to the goal square. He actually gets around the player on the mark. Now delivers the ball long to the forward line. Going back, good spoil in the goal square. How does it run?
Oh,
kicked off the ground, pushed through for another minor score. So they've had a few of them this afternoon. 2-8 now to Anakie, and it is 7-8 to Winchelsea as we tick towards 13 and a half minutes.
McKenzie kicks in for Winchelsea over the back of the pack, heading towards the line. Henry picks it up. He can't control the ball. Tackled immediately by two Anakie players and dragged over the boundary line. So we're right on the 50-metre arc, far side of the ground. Anakie in attack. Another boundary throw in. It's Roberts who's now in the ruck. No, it's actually Wallace and Ford. They're going to contest the ruck on the outside of the Winchelsea reserve. Here we go over the back of the pack. No ruckman touches it. Wallace gets a second chance to pick it up, as does Ford. Neither player can control it. There's a pack of players again, and we'll have another ball up on the outer side of the ground. It's a 30-point margin here, 50 to Winch, 20 to Anakie, 14 minutes into the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter. Another player, Wallace, dragged to the ground. Ball comes out of the back pack to Ebel. He has a quick left foot kick, going forward. Players scragging at the ball. Miraclis is in part of that. Bordavalis for Winchelsea. He's pushed over the line, carries the ball over. So we'll have a boundary throw in about 25 metres round from the point post. Anakie in attack, desperate to get a goal to keep themselves in touch with Winch. Winch have kicked the 2 goals that we've seen so far this quarter. So boundary throw in now coming. Kennedy's back in the ruck this time with Ford over the back. Neither ruckman touches it again. Ford butters up with a hand pass to Sawney. Sawney straight to the ground. He can't get away. Ford picks up again, but he's dragged to the ground. We'll have yet another ball up. Very slippery conditions still here. Players struggling to handle the ball with any assurity at all. So we're going to see a lot of this for the rest of the day, unfortunately. So it's Kennedy gets it across, but it's Copland who picks up for Winch, kicks forward, looking for Forsman, but coming in for Anakie and whacking the ball over the line is Billy Goodwin, who's played a reasonable game this afternoon for the Roos.
I wonder where he's from, Billy Goodwin. I wonder where he's from. I'll tell you what, there was a great player many years ago, Bluey Goodwin, played at Lara. He was a superstar. I wonder if it's his son.
Worth doing some inquiry.
Yeah, I will.
The ball's been thrown in, but Paulie, the umpire's going to get another crack at doing that. They've all been a little bit shallow, the young boundary umpires that are operating today.
You're going to have to give him another
lads,
go here.
But this will be his 3rd go at it.
That's all right. Have 10 goes.
They've got to practice.
Just get it right. Have 10 goes if you want. Although, with not many games going, where are the boundary umpires?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Comes over the back of the pack. Ford gets the crumb, hand passes it across to McClure. He can't break free. No, it was Burns, can't break free. Across to Jackson Smith. He gets it across to Baker. Baker kicks it a little bit forward, looking for Williams. Williams can't control the ball, and over the boundary line it goes again. Just underneath the scoreboard showing Winchelsea 50, Anakie 20, 16 minutes into the De Grande Sport and Cycle 3rd quarter here at the Eastern Reserve at Winchelsea.
So ball thrown back in now by the umpire. That's probably another go at that one, I think.
Well, that's all right. Give him another go.
Imagine the wet ball will be a problem too, just getting control of it too, the poor fella, as well as not having great strength to get it high, but
maybe he needs to turn around and kick a little drop punt.
Yeah,
ball thrown in by the umpire. This time goes to Ford. Ford tries to get it to Sawney. Went back to Ford. He was taken probably a little bit high. Looked for the free kick. Wasn't given. And the umpire now will come back in and ask for a ball to be balled up. And we're on centre wing, far side of the ground. And again, they both ruck when they go at it. Ford tried to pluck it out of the contest. As it runs back towards the boundary line. Again, the numbers there with the Winchelsea side right at the present time. Copland picks the ball up. Kicks quickly into the forward line. Marker's not taken out there. Leach was protecting the space for his teammate, but he was also watching for his mate to go and get it. But it didn't work out. They're going to win possession. No, they're not, because Tucker has the ball. Gave the handball back. And again, interception out there by Knight. And he takes the ball over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in between the half forward and forward pocket. This time we've got some work to be done here. We've got Tucker looking to do some ruck work this time. He goes up against Mahon. This time Tucker got the ball down. Went towards Smith at the front of the contest. He couldn't take the ball cleanly. I think it's Leach who picks the ball up. He is going to win possession back again. Run over the boundary line. No, he doesn't. Puts it on the boot. But this time he kicks it out of bounds on the full. And it's going to be Copland on the far side of the ground that will have the recipient free kick. He delivers the ball quickly into the pocket, but again, reading the ball nicely is Kavanagh, and he slips in and takes the mark. So Kavanagh now.
He might be a relation of Eric Nichols, actually, young Kavanagh.
He kicks the ball now, goes outside 50. Ball gets through the contest. Cale is out the back. He can't pick it up cleanly. Kicks off the ground. Ball runs over the boundary line, so the umpire will come in and say we're going to do that all again.
David Tucker is probably on report for being struck by an umpire in the first minute of the game. See how that comes out in post-match paperwork. Balls are thrown in again forward, and Roberts contender was Wallace, and the umpire suggested Ford was interfered with. He's going to take a free kick, a very casual kick going forward, but he finds Bale.
Forsman, I reckon.
Forsman it is. Forsman kicks into the forward line looking for Ellis. Ellis comes out, can't take the mark. Should have dropped a relatively easy chest mark. Battling there for possession was Henry. Goodwin for Anakie's in there, and O'Keefe can't get the ball out. Try to kick off the ground there was Kavanagh. He can't get clear of the pack. It's just an absolute mess of bodies and hands and slippery ball at the moment. Ebel tries to get it. Quick kick out from to Bunworth. Hasn't gone 15 metres. He couldn't control it anyway. Scrambles the ball forward, kicks it about 40 metres out. And Winch have a line of defence set up there. There's three of them. Ford's got the ball, kicks it into the centre and finds Williams. Williams now has got another easy player to kick to out in the wing is Jansen. Jansen's left foot kick sees McClure on his own in the forward pocket. Straight through his hands. The wet ball's gone. Coming through is Floyd. Can't break free of a bunch of tacklers there. He gets it now in a second chance. Quick hand pass out into the middle of the ground to Jackson Smith. He has a shot at goal. The umpire has deemed it will be downfield.
I don't think it can be. It went
no,
through
it'll have
for
to
a
come.
point.
It'll have to come back to Williams now that it's gone through on the full. Yes, it will be. So Williams will take a free kick for the.
Williams.
No, it's Jackson Smith.
Williams might have been the other kid that come down with Heath Ellis. Not Heath Ellis. He was a fighter, wasn't he?
That was his dad, wasn't it?
With young Ellis.
Yeah, it's Jackson Smith who has it. Fellow who has a Winchelsea best and fairest to his name as well. He's going to kick from about 30 metres out directly in front. Takes 3 steps, goes whack, kicks it straight through the middle of the goals. And that's the 8 for Winchelsea. 8-8-56. Anakie 2-8-20. We're 20 and a half minutes into the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter.
They're doing this wrong, Anakie. They're setting up wrong, right? When you look, a minute ago when the play was in air, there was not one player back to the centre. But they've all gone deep. Even the full forward, they've all gone too deep. So when Anakie get the ball, they kick it back this way to a wall of Winchelsea players. If you're going to come down the ground and help out, go with that wall. And when it comes out, give yourself a 50-50 chance. At the moment, they've got 100-0 chance. So they're going down too deep. But Winchelsea are getting the footy and kicking goals anyway. So come back and form that line with Winchelsea.
So we're back in the middle, this time Ford up over the top, gets the ball down, ran towards Sawney, but it's picked up there by Smith. Tried to get the handball back towards Ford. Again, they work a bit of pressure in the middle of the ground. They've done nicely, Anakie. Get it to Leyland in the forward line from 60. Weaves, goes back long towards goal. Will it have the carry? No, it won't. The mark will be taken out there. And it's Cale who now has the ball, decides to transfer play, goes looking towards Mackenzie. Didn't have the depth on the kick, and the mark has been taken out there by Wallace. So Wallace now with an opportunity.
Tell you what, if that had gone through, that might have been the goal of the year with the back out of the pack and do. That was a beautiful bit of footy. And that's what they can do, Anakie. They're not going to win a game, I don't think, but now and again they produce some really good footy to watch, and that's good enough for me at the moment.
So Wallace now from the half-forward line. Kicking back towards goal. Nice-looking kick off the boot.
That's a beautiful
I think
kick.
It was a nice-looking kick, and he has his second goal of the afternoon and the third now for the Anakie side. They move to 3-8. They trail Winchelsea on 8-8. 22 minutes gone, third quarter, the Grand Cycling Sports third quarter scoreboard.
Well, and that's exactly what they needed. But I want to say something about the boundary umpires. All right, they haven't been throwing it in that well. These kids are that little. They look to me like they're about 10 or 12 years old. They're hard to get boundary umpires, and these kids are obviously starting out. And who knows? One day, one of these kids might be running around the MCG. You've got to start somewhere. Exactly. So if you get a couple of bad ones, bad luck. Throw it in again until you get a good one. Because who knows? You might get a couple of real good ones out of these kids.
Geez, I love the way Anakie celebrate their little moments in the game, guys. We talked about it before. You mentioned it coming out onto the ground, but they really do get around each other in those little wins. They're in the middle of the ground now. It's Kennedy who's had one of those little wins over forward in the ruck. He gets the ball, but it's running Winchelsea's way still. Burns runs onto it hard for Winchelsea. He's working away, but Bunworth comes in for Anglesea, knocks the ball out of his hands, gone over the boundary line. Little fella missed it, I think, and it's now over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I thought they might hit it just in line. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, that kid.
He would have been slightly obscured anyway, but it matters not. It's there now, and he'll have his moment as he comes to throw the ball in on top of Ruckman, McClure and Kennedy. No, it was Tucker and Kennedy. Kennedy wins again. He follows up again after the ball. Coming through is Ebel. He can't break through. Stevenson for Winch tries to get it. Over the back of the pack, it's Goodwin on the left foot. Slaps down the line looking for Wallace, who's just kicked the previous goal. Over the back of the pack to Dunkley. Dunkley kicks right into the middle of the ground, and coming out to take the mark on a long lead is Henry. So they're very disciplined in that regard, Winch. When they kick the ball, get the ball on the flanks, they do kick into that middle corridor and players are running onto it. That's a magnificent strike from Henry. It's just gone over the back of the pack, I think.
I reckon it's a goal. He's going to call a goal.
It's either a goal or a mark.
The goal umpire's not having anything to do with it, so it's Tucker has been awarded the mark and the goal. And he's quickly kicked it, so that's 9-8, Winchelsea 62, Anakie 3-8, 26. We're into the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter by 24 and a half minutes.
Can I go over to Anakie?
Can you?
And just tell them a few things.
Yeah, you can if you like.
It happened again. The blokes that came up there was 3 blokes stood here, which is too deep. The rest of them went up there, which is too shallow, and left the Winchelsea to go in easy for goals. If they're going to come up and man up and make it a 50-50 contest. You can't have some there and some there and none where the ball's going to go. Right? And that's where they're falling down there.
So Ruckman out again, forward up over the top and wins the ball down, but it's Miraculous. He runs onto it. He's taken and then the tackle, but gets the ball out. And again, this time I think it was Baker with his head over the contest, and the umpire said he was taken high, was he? And it's going to be a free kick going to that player. So Baker now, an opportunity to put Winchelsea back into attack. Was going to look for some options going past. In the hands now of Forsman. He goes into their half-forward line. Henry, up, good hands. Doesn't. Umpire's going to pay it.
Well, he dragged him down with arms anyway, so it's definitely his kick, mark or free.
So Henry now clicks quickly into the pocket. A little bit too much carry on the ball. Runs over the top. Miraculous will see the ball back towards the boundary line and over. And he is going to have the ball thrown back in.
Here's where the boundary throw-in counts, because he's so close to goal. You watch the Winch bloke try and get in front of you.
So Marn's going to do the ruck work here.
And did.
And the ball's going to come towards Smith. He tried to force his way through the contest. Anakie, with some numbers around, we're going to win possession of the ball, Grub. We numbered up better this time back deeper or not? Ellis tried to force his way through. Yes. And again, the ball is held up.
Look when the ball comes out, Smitty. They've finally gone to the right spots. And they're pretty well manned up.
Yep.
At least if it comes back, it's a 50-50 contest. They haven't been doing it.
So the ball now is kicked in, and again it was Copland that tried to boot towards goal, went back and collected it once again. This time his kick is towards the boundary line, touched and runs over and is going to be thrown back in by the umpire.
I've still got to worry if they go out to the boundary side. It's still a 3-on-1. They've got a bloke loose there, and you watch. A missed kick will go straight down his throat. When they're back there, they've got to man up and give it a 50-50 contest.
Your Matt Morris is done for the day. Grubby's got the jacket on, went off just before half.
Does has he?
Yeah, just before half time he went off, and he's got the jacket on. I just see him stand up there on the boundary line.
I was going to give him the votes too, because he's my godson.
Ball in the ruck contest that comes out, and again they try to win possession of it.
Righto. There you go, mate. You know who I am? I'm Billy's dad. Billy Cations. Oh, Billy Cations. How you going?
You out with him last night? No, ball. We better back into the game here. We've got a conversation going on, but again, the numbers are around the centre half forward position. Again, numbers there, and there's plenty of them around the contest. Ball comes back, goes back into the contest. Copeland had it, got the ball outside. He wins possession back again. I think it was Copeland that shot at goal. No, it wasn't. He's still standing. It was Ellis, and he put it through for a minor score. So 2 goals, 1 goal, 2 to him now, and it's 9-9 to Winchelsea, 3-8 to the Anakie side. We've gone 27 in this third quarter. The Grande Cycling Sports third quarter scoreboard shouldn't be much to go, I wouldn't think, in the quarter.
No, I wouldn't have thought. The others, I don't think any quarter's gone to 28 minutes, so expect the siren any second now as Anakie through Bunworth. No, it isn't, because Bunworth just marked that magnificent kick out from full back.
He didn't mark it either. Now he's got a free kick for around the neck.
So the coach of the Anakie side will help relieve pressure for his team, but there's a nest of Winchelsea players in front of him. He won't want to be going to the corridor, so expect a kick down the line and wait and see what happens. So here it comes, kick directly towards where we're seated. He's looking for Wallace. Kennedy can't
that's
hold
a free arm.
Crumb over the back of the pack.
Oh, he got tunnelled a bit. It hurt him too.
And it's gone over the back of the pack. That is Floyd, who's down on the ground. He's up and looking all right at the moment.
It wasn't on purpose, but he actually got under him and tunnelled him, and he landed bum first on the deck.
So Ford runs onto a very shallow throw-in, picks up the ball, kicks delightfully into the path of Take, just can't quite reach it, hits his hand and goes over the boundary line. So I'll have a throw-in about 30 metres round from the Winchelsea point post. They're attacking 9-9-63, Anakie 3-8-26. We're just coming up towards 29 minutes. This is by far the longest quarter of the game.
So what does the Anakie Ruckman do here?
So he stays back, and Winchelsea pick it up again. Jackson Smith grabs the ball, gets it across to Ellis. Ellis on his left foot has a shot for goal, and that is an absolute perler from deep in the pocket on the wrong side for a left footer, and he's smacked that one through, and I reckon that might be his third, if not fourth, for the afternoon. Dale, you're on the
second,
mate. There, only the second. He must have missed a couple of others, but he's played particularly well, and he's kicked Winchelsea's 10th goal for the afternoon. 10-8-68, Anakie 3-8, and we're coming up towards 30 minutes. 10-9 it is, 69 to 3-8-26, 29 and a half minutes into the Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter.
Well, he might have been on the wrong side for a left footer and near the boundary line, but I tell you what, and I'm not bragging, but as soon as he got that ball, I knew that was a goal, and so did you, Smithy. You knew the way the winds, you aimed for that post, and you knew he was going to kick it, and he magnificently did.
So we're back in the middle of the ground again. The umpire's thrown it up, forward, up over the top, gets the ball down, goes towards Stevenson. And I can hardly hear that.
Yeah, that's where you've got to listen carefully. It's not very loud.
So as we go into three-quarter time, it is going to be Winchelsea at 10-9-69. They lead Anakie on 3-8-26. Goal kickers to this stage of the game, Jackson Smith, Lee Ellis and David Tucker, all with 2. 1 each to Ford, Floyd, Byrne and Forsman. And for the Anakie side, 2 to Shane Wallace and 1 to Anthony Harding. So a comfortable lead here at three-quarter time to the home side. Take a short break, come back with final quarter action here from Eastern Reserve at Winchelsea. You listen to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
The last quarter, brought to you by Morris Finance.
Welcome back to the Eastern Reserve at Winchelsea. We're about to start the Morris Finance final quarter, which will show Winchelsea 10-8-68, Anakie 3-8-26. 5 goals to Winch that quarter, 1 to Anakie. They've really put a stamp on the game. The result is well and truly known. And Grubby, the wet conditions haven't really made it a great spectacle. However, it's still a lot of tenacity being shown, which is good.
Look, that's exactly what I expected. I heard you say about the wet day and what we're getting. I think we would have got that in a dry day. I didn't come out here today to see two absolutely classy football teams put on an event, because that's not where their position says they are on the ladder. They're just hard, going for the footy, diving on the packs, and that's what it's been. And obviously the wetness has contributed to even being that a little bit more. But I love watching footy like that. But I still think you've got to structure up and play the game properly. And that's where, I know I said it a few times during the quarter, but Anakie didn't do it properly. And it gave Winchelsea the chance to bang on a couple of goals. And I'll tell you the difference, too, that I thought. At the start of the game, we had Kennedy in the ruck. We've had Tucker and we've had Cope. We've had a few blokes go in the ruck. And Kennedy has probably pretty much controlled the ruck until that quarter. Will Ford can't get a kick down forward because it's wet, and the other blokes. So Will Ford goes into the ruck and beats Kennedy for that quarter. And that gives him even more the advantage. The only advantage Anakie had was winning tap-outs and giving first use of the ball. And Will Ford stopped that and got a few kicks around the ground
himself. Played like a ruck rover, didn't he?
He did, and he played a really good quarter, and Kennedy couldn't go with him around the ground. But look, there was a few other good players. It's hard to find good players when they're all diving on the ball, and I didn't find many. I thought Daniel Bunworth stepped up that quarter and done a couple of nice things. Billy Goodwin I thought he was pretty good. And even though I got a few blokes down for first and second quarter, I didn't have many for Anakie in that quarter. And even with Winch, I thought Copeland played a good quarter. Lee Ellis played a really good quarter. Ford I got down. And the ball just didn't go back down there for the Mackenzies and the like down at Anakie to do much for the whole game, for the whole quarter. So, look, yeah, it's tough. It's hard in there. Anakie, as we said right from the start, they will keep going to the final siren. And with a little bit of luck, they can kick a couple of goals and be happy with their day's work. Winch, they've still got a lot of work to do too, obviously. But we'll see about them too. If they kick 4 or 5 goals, they'll be happy with their day.
Can you quickly go around the grounds for us?
Yeah, yes, that's what I meant to do. Right, Belmont Lions 5-3-33, East 10-7-67, North 92, Corio 28, Belpo still 11-15-81, Thompson 5-3-33, Werribee 4-8-32, Inverleigh 8-11-59, and Bannockburn 6-6-42, Trail West 7-5-47.
So very interesting. Looks like Thompson's season will be over, but Geelong West continues to have a pulse, and that's good for the competition.
I got a text early in the game from John Mitchell saying Thompson haven't touched the football. They couldn't get their hands on it up there. But
anyway, it is the Morris Finance final quarter. Dale Smith, get us cracking.
So siren sounds, the ball is thrown in the air, and again this time Kennedy gets the ball down, goes to Kavanagh. He tries to work through the contest and can't get through. And players now sit over top of the ball. Umpire is going to come in. Will he take possession of it? Yes, he will. So another ball up to take place, not far from that centre circle. Ford and Kennedy to do the ruck work once again. Ball's tapped down this time by Ford.
What the hell was that? He was going for the footy. I just don't know about these little tickies.
Well, he's gone over the shoulder, but I'm not quite sure if he was ever near his shoulder, but that doesn't matter. He saw something that we didn't. So Kennedy for the Anakie side will take the ball in the centre of the ground. Has finally come back. Players running everywhere, looking, creating options for him, but the big ruckman just lays the boot into it, kicks it into a space in the forward line. Coming out, Miraclis, who's been really quiet today for a fella who will probably easily win his club's best and fairest. Kicks down the line, coming through, trying to mark there was Ford. Couldn't hold the ball. Umpire's blown the whistle. An umpire from a distance away.
You can't do that!
Has blown the whistle, found a kick for Sawney. Sawney's found a kick to Alice. Alice has got a running player going forward, and that's Burns, and he'll take a mark on his own at the end of the goal square. And, yeah, that was particularly odd because... that umpire was about 30 metres away. There was an umpire no more than 2 metres from the action.
I was going to say 1.
And interestingly, the one who paid the kick looks like about 18 years old, and the bloke that he overruled was about 45. So they might have an interesting chat after the game.
Look, I don't... Oh, wait till he kicks a goal. He's not going to, is he?
He hit the top of the post.
So it's 10-9-69 to Winch. Anakie a 3-8-26 with just a minute and a half into the Morris Finance last quarter.
I've had this argument with Keats for a long time. If you see a real drastic free kick from a long way, pay it by all means. But a little tiggy touch with it no one can see, just let the control and umpire do it, will you?
Yeah, I think it's very important. It's Kavanagh now for... That is a beautiful long kick with a wet ball. It's almost reached the middle of the ground. Ball wobbles over the back of the pack. No, that wasn't Kavanagh because he just got the ball and kicked it then. And the crowd favourite, Moo, as he's called him, Anthony Harding, has taken the ball for Anakie, kicks it into the pocket. Kalbarchik runs over the ball, comes out of the back of the pack, wobbles over the boundary line, and Anakie will have a throw in about 20 metres around from their point post. They got it from one end of the ground to the other really, really quickly. And I'll try and find that name of that fellow who kicked that ball out, but it was Kavanagh who then kicked it into the forward line.
Tell you what, he might be a crowd favourite, but he's not a teammate favourite with a shocking kick like that, the big fella.
It wasn't very good at all. Miraculous for Anakie, tries to get the ball away from Ford. Ford's thrown the hands up in the air, claiming that he was tackled without it. The umpire agrees with him, and Will Ford will take the free kick for Winchelsea. He's kicked it into the centre of the ground looking for Floyd, but not enough weight in the kick, and Daniel Buntworth has chipped in and taken a mark for the Anakie side. He'll kick from about 35 to 40 metres out directly in front. And this will be a great way to start their final quarter. And I'm sure the coach will be aware of the importance of this kick. Very bad kick, one of the few mistakes Ford has made for the afternoon. So it's Bunworth comes in now. He's got reasonably good contact, and the boys are very, very happy. They're getting across to their coach. It's their fourth for the afternoon, 4-8-34 to Winchelsea, 32. Winchelsea 10-9-69. 3.5 minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter. Just what the Roos needed, Grubby.
Well, they did, and I'd really love to say, with all the experience and the good footballer he's been, Daniel Bunworth, it was a magnificent read. But I can't, because Will Ford just kicked it straight down his throat. He was just standing there and saying, Will, I'm not on your side, mate, but thanks anyway, and slotted it through for a goal for Anakie. And as I said at three-quarter time and before the game, they'll just keep playing out the game, and Winchelsea have too. It's been, I think it's been entertaining myself.
So the ball back in the middle, this time Ford up over the top, gets a handball or gets a knock down, goes towards Sawney, put it further afield. Again, they continually knock the ball and take some ground. It goes into the half-forward line. Henry leads in the race for the ball. Can he keep it in the field of play? Does so nicely. Trapped it and kicked it around the boundary line. Goes towards Alice. And he will see the ball over the boundary line. So we'll have a throw in about 25 around from the behind post.
If anything, I think they've learnt one lesson, Winchelsea. They've found themselves a ruckman here. If the ball's wet and it's a day where full forwards can't take the speckies that Will Ford normally takes, throw him in the ruck, because he's done a terrific job.
Certainly has.
So now there's a free kick being given, or was the umpire just asking for someone to move away, or what's going on here? So we're just saying that there's only one person indicated for the ruck here. Is that correct? Or
no, because they've both gone up.
Jackson Smith must have said, I'm going to do it here. But the ball anyway comes out of the contest and it goes towards the half-back line. Rhodes is over the top of the ball. Ball comes out and it's going to be fed towards Sawney. His kick round the body goes to Byrne, or went through Byrne. Coming in behind the player was Wallace, and I think he was trying to get the ball forward. They continued to push the ball back, but the Smith, nice clean hands, picks it up, kicks the ball across the goals. Leading the race for the ball out there is Leach. He picks the ball up, gets in and out of a bit of trouble, needs to get rid of the ball and does so now. His kick brings the ball back inside towards Kennedy. Had a couple of grabs at it, couldn't take it cleanly, got the handball away. Player feeding up from defence. He's can't take the ball and it goes into the hands
Good bump.
of
I don't think that was late.
This young kid's paying a few grub, so it's gone forward, but I think the mark had been taken anyway, hadn't it?
Yeah,
or not?
I think so it doesn't matter, but I tell you what, you've got to get stuff. Well, look, I'll watch it on the video. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he bumped him as he kicked it to try and put him off his kick, and you're allowed to do that. If he was a bit late, fair enough, but I just didn't think it was.
So it's Henry now that's coming in to have a shot for goal. And again, from where we sit, it's pretty much a pretty good look. It's going to be short and narrow, and it's going to be off to the right-hand side and through for a minor score. So they move now to 10-11, and Anakie are 4-8. We have gone 6.5 minutes final quarter. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
Smiths, you're giving your cousin a good rap, mate, aren't you?
Yep. That's my daughter's 150th game for Bannockburn too today. And the
too.
netball, I mentioned that, I'll probably get a whack around the ears, but it'll be all right.
And I was told in no uncertain terms that it wasn't Libby Leake's lunch we had. It was Jano Fletcher. So apologies to the girls there. The ball's going to be thrown in front of the Anakie coaches box. Kennedy and forward again. This time Kennedy gets it into the path of Leach. He can't control the ball as Zedekiah Copland comes through for Winch. Hand passes down the line, but it dribbles over the boundary line. And there'll be a second throw in right in front of the happy Winchelsea folk on the terraces of the social club having a friendly convivial ale this afternoon. Not much of a day for one of them.
Smithy, what's this idiot talking about?
I don't know. I'll be standing out watching the game if I was up there anyway. I'd be in the club rooms.
Ford gets it for Winch off the boundary throw and slaps it forward on the left foot. It's an ugly kick, not a clear penetration. It's Alice who's coming forward very strongly for the Winchelsea side. He can't get it through. Bobbles out the back of the pack. Stevenson's trying to get it from Winch. He can't. A quick kick out from back by Kavanagh. Gets it in the middle of the ground. Jansen gets it across to a teammate there in Stevenson. But the umpire said that it was
there prior there?
Incorrect.
Not really.
No.
Incorrect disposal of the ball or something. And Kennedy is going to take the kick. It's punched away by Mackenzie, who's had a pretty solid game in defence for Winch. And we'll have another boundary throw in. Just centre wing, slightly favouring Winchelsea side.
He's just punched that further than I could kick it. He doesn't do things in half measures, Brad Mackenzie.
No, he does not. There's the throw in. Kennedy again gets it and follows up and gets his own tap in. Wins the ball, can't get through. He's dragged to the ground. He will want to get rid of it quickly. The umpire has said he had plenty of time, chose not to, and he has been penalised. And it'll be Zedekiah Copland for Winch who will take the free kick, and he'll be literally standing among the Inverleigh bench as he's about to kick the ball.
That'd be Anakie.
That'd be Anakie. That'd be right.
That's
Copland.
Might be Anglesey.
Could be Anglesey. Kicks the ball into the danger zone for the club coming out.
He hasn't got the footy. Sling tackle, hasn't got the footy. And they're not happy with him either.
No, that was definitely, considering the number of free kicks that have been paid for that today.
Now, be careful. They might take this off him.
It's Burns who's the player at fault here. There's no 50 metre at this stage. Hang on, what's he doing?
The little kid's, this kid's taken possession here. He's reversed the decision.
I told you he would. I told you he would.
Goodness gracious me. That would cause a bit of grief amongst the team. Anyway, Burns was the tackler who was given a free kick against, as he should have been, and something went awry. He's won the free kick back, plus a 50-metre penalty. He's kicked the goal from inside the square. That's Winch's 11th for the afternoon, and that's a bit of a dagger through the Anakie side. But you just don't do that, Grubby.
Well, put it this way, I think I need a standing ovation because I picked that a long way out, didn't I? Hey, I knew he was going to reverse it when they all ran in because someone's run in and done something wrong. And I'm not saying the umpire was wrong because I can't see what he did, but I knew he was going to reverse that. Obviously, I didn't foresee the 50.
So back in the middle, forward again, up over the top, got the ball out towards his teammate, but again kicked off the ground by Leach coming through the middle of the ground, picked up Bunworth down there, tried to get out of trouble. He's been held up, no prior opportunity there, and the umpire has seen it that way, so a ball up to take place. That's centre half forward for the Anakie side. Leach says he's going to do the ruck work now. He's down there. Ford is also there. Got tapped down. Goes towards Copland. He's taken off the ball. Smith had it. Was fed it forward. Picked up by Miraculous. Got in and out of trouble. Did that pretty nicely. Then he puts the ball on the right boot. Goes back towards the goals. And it will be pushed through for a minor score. There's been a few of them today for the Anakie side.
I reckon 4 out of 9 have been punched through.
Yeah, well, we've got about 8 listed down there, Grub. So anyway, it doesn't matter. The ball is kicked out from the full-back position. Cale runs onto it, kicks it along the ground. Sawney, he tried to do the same thing. Didn't have the same effect. The umpire, some of the teammates here or the supporters on the bench is telling him to pick the thing up. Free kick has been given. It's going to go to Anakie now, and it's picked up and moved in quickly. Goes back to the forward line. Bunworth, I thought he read that nicely there. Got out the back of the contest. Couldn't affect the mark. Dives on top of the ball. Someone dives on top of him. Umpire, how does he see it? He's got the ball out, so it's going to be okay. It's kept alive, picked up, and again kicked back into the hands there of Ebel. Ebel kicks the ball to Kilbarchik, and he goes back towards goal. He hits the behind post, but not on the full, so there'll be a ball in to take place.
Yeah, Brendan Forsman particularly vocal there at young Ricky Sawney trying to kick that off the ground instead of
Winchelsea Raceway out the back, is it?
Sounds like it.
Ball thrown back in by the umpire. Ford pushes his opponent out of the road, takes possession and goes wide outside, went towards Henry. He couldn't take the mark. He is manhandled and didn't have the ball. Free kick has to go to Winchelsea, and that will be the case. So on the far side of the ground, Henry has the ball.
That's 50 metres. That's got to be. He's had it a long time, that bloke.
So Henry now looking to deliver the ball back inside. That's a nice looking kick. Mark will be taken out there by Jansen. Jansen decides to play on now. So straight up the ground, another nice kick and a good mark from Floyd. Swings and goes long, so they get the ball quickly to one end of the ground to the other. McClure leads in the race for the ball. Can't pick the ball up. Kicks it towards or paddle the ball along the ground towards Forsman, but he couldn't pick it up. The ball goes over. So we're going to have a throw-in to take place on the far side of the ground in the forward pocket.
Might have to apologise too. I think my best player on the ground's hardly touched it in the second half. I might have to review those votes. That was Floyd's first decent possession for a while. The ball's come out of that boundary throw, not going too far. Players tackled, dragged to the ground. Umpires letting it go. It's finally bobbled out to Copland. He gets clear of his opponent, tries to handball, can't. The umpire said incorrect disposal, and the Bannockburn, goodness gracious, the Anakie defence will take the relieving kick. Kicked into the worst possible spot, across goal to a couple of Winchelsea players. Lee Ellis has got the ball. Neat little left foot kick into the centre corridor. Can't come through there. It's a good hand pass out into the path of Bunworth. He gets a hand pass back out to
that's high too.
Kilbarchick, and
there's punches thrown there. There is punches thrown there, I think.
That was a bit unnecessary. The Anakie players were starting to get a bit frustrated at this stage, and I think they just need to cool down a bit because their coach has the footy. They've just had one taken off them a minute ago, so there's not much point doing this at this stage. Everything finally settled down. The umpire has blown the whistle. Anakie will retain possession, and Bunworth kicks the ball down to Wallace. Wallace kicks into the middle of the ground and finds Miraculous. He has been quiet this afternoon, as I said, but he's got a clear kick, not a very good kick. Kicks it straight down the throat of Ethan Floyd, and the left footer kicks out to the half-forward flank, looking for Forsman, just short of him, but he's got enough time to butter up, kick the ball along forward, looking for Alice. He can't control the ball. Kicked off the ground by Henry, back into the middle of the ground. Anakie through Bunworth, grab it, kick it in the middle, come back again. Winchelsea tackle, dragged to the ground. That's Williams, can't get away. Oh, that's a push in the back that was missed, I reckon. The umpire letting things go here. There's players and ball going everywhere. It's bobbling in and out. And finally he said, I've had enough. Throw it here and I'll ball it up. We're 14 and a half minutes into the Morris Finance last quarter. Winch 76, Anakie 33. A lot of very tired players out there at the moment.
He missed the hold on the ball there too early.
Yeah. Jackson Smith gets it from Winch, hand passes it out to Floyd. Floyd gets that long raking left foot kick. The ball wobbles into the forward line and dribbles through for a point. That's Winch's 11, so they've rounded up nicely. 11-11, 77, and we are 15 minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter. It's Rhodes, doesn't know where to go. He's being tracked, finally throws it onto the left foot, kicks forward, and that's a very, very neat mark there by young Dustin Baker, who got the wrath of the Anakie faithful a little while ago after that attack on Bunworth. McKenzie gets around the man on him, has a long shot for goal for the defender, but just fades away to the right-hand side. And another point, 11-12, 78, Winchelsea, Anakie 4-9, 33. Morris Finance final quarter. We're about halfway through, I reckon.
It's only 2 goals of difference at Werribee at the moment. Inverleigh still in front.
The Centurions are coming back. So Anakie now from defence. It's Rhodes. Kicks long down to the half-back flank. Kennedy underneath it. McKenzie gets up high over the back. It's Baker again. Drags it under himself. He's tackled and tackled and tackled again. He's tackled very heavily, and McKenzie comes in to remonstrate. And we have another little performance here of people just throwing their weight around. The umpire needs to blow the whistle, ball it up very quickly and get things going.
Bannockburn 6-6-42, West 7-7-49.
Still no score from the last time. That is another of those sling tackles. Player held, and again we've got some unnecessary contact. This player's getting a little bit irate at this hour of the day. I don't know whether it's just the rain, the cold weather, the frustration of what's happened, but there's a lot of unnecessary attack on each other rather than the footy at the moment, and umpires need to settle it down very, very quickly. Can you see what sparked this, Grubby?
No, but I think big fella Kennedy's getting thrown off the ground, so there's one. But he's getting thrown off by that little umpire. So that doesn't mean he's actually done anything because he's reversed a few and 50. He's actually reported him and a blood rule. So I'd say the umpire might have got this one right. He looks like he's got a smack in the nose, Will Ford. And Kennedy has been sent off. There's a goal being kicked in the meantime while this has gone on. So Anakie, bad discipline this time.
I'm not quite... Is the play allowed to continue while an umpire's reporting someone?
I don't think it is. I think the play should have been stopped till he was off the ground, but by the time he got off the ground, the ball was up the other end of the ground, so that's another bad mistake by the umpires, if you ask me. Again, I watched it on the video, but whilst he's been sent off, the play must stop. It might have, because I had my eye on something else, but once the play stopped, you can't keep going down the ground if a bloke's not sent off. So you've got to wait till he gets off, so I think the umpire's got it wrong again there. That should have been no goal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
the ball is back in the middle of the ground. Umpire just telling a couple of them just to settle on their heels, I think, at the moment. Game's done and dusted, and you don't want to lose anyone at this stage of the game.
Of course you can.
So just a bit of confusion on the Anakie bench.
Well, I'll tell you
what,
what.
has come off, but he hasn't been replaced.
That would never happened in my day. The Winchelsea boys just advised Anakie that they could replace him. I wouldn't have been telling him nothing.
So the umpires are totally oblivious to this conversation between the two benches.
Anyway, the ball's been thrown up in the middle of the ground. We'll concentrate on that, let them work it out. But it's Miracles that runs from the middle of the ground and kicks the ball back into their forward line. Again, the mark has not been taken. Kicked off the ground, runs back towards the goal square. It's going to have a bit of carry on it, but the carrier is going to see it over. No, it won't. Mackenzie says, I'm not going to see it over just yet. Little short kick out of defence, goes towards Stevenson, and he takes the mark. Stevenson now chips up over the top, and this time the mark will be taken out there, and it's by Grant. So Grant, here's the ball just outside their defensive 50. He's looking at his options. He comes back inside. That will be okay. Mark is taken by Smith once again. And again, they've got some options square of the ball and behind, but he just little short chip up over the top, and the mark has been taken once again, this time by Baker. So Baker looks to come across the ground. Kick will be okay. Kale. And some space. Again, they're a little bit of possession football now. This time with Windsor. Windsor goes back inside. Ooh, dangerous kicks that didn't hit the target. Picked up there and turned around by Harding. Looks at his options, goes out wide. Kilbarchik runs onto the ball, tackled, ball to the ground. Umpire said that is dropping the ball. Could have been a little bit of high the first one, but the second one was okay. If he didn't pay the first, he had to pay the second. And it's going to be Baker that's going to win the possession of the ball. Called the play on now by the umpire. Handball goes up over the top. He wins it back. Little 1-2. Ball goes back outside 50. Again, picked up cleanly. Wasn't disposed of correctly in the hands of Budavalis, who goes around the boundary line. Henry going back with the flight, couldn't get back far enough. Mark not taken, ball runs over the boundary line, and we're going to have a throw-in to take place.
So speaking as a player who spent most of my career playing with scoreboards that look like that against us, those sort of umpiring decisions really are frustrating because nothing else is going right, but that looked like a high tackle that was missed the first one before, but just adds to it. Doesn't matter, it's back to the game. Goodwin gets the ball for the Anakie side, slaps it forward, but it runs over the boundary line and will be a throw-in. Half forward flank, probably just on the spot where the 50-metre arc touches the boundary line. And Anakie are in attack, and they'd love to get a goal out of this little foray and give their side some spirit. They haven't had any for the last 10 minutes or so, probably bit of discipline hasn't helped the situation either. Miraculous bursts through the pack, tries to get through, breaks the tackle, gets it past hand pass to Goodwin, intercepted by Mackenzie. Goodwin back again, intercepts that. Quick kick off the ground, looking for Harding. He tries to butter up and get a kick. Desperation on the boundary, on the goal line actually for Anakie.
He's paid a free kick to Anakie here.
He has indeed. It looks like a high tackle.
In the back he paid. He pushed the hands in the back, he said.
And it will be Bunworth, the coach of the Anakie side, who has got the free kick. Very, very tight angle, and he'll have to kick it either left foot or banana.
Very rarely do you see people in the GDFL kick with their opposite foot in that position. But he's played a lot of footy. He may.
I think he might be a very good... No, he's going for the banana. So he's tight in that forward pocket. Comes around, kicks off the boot. The goal umpire quite likes it, and that is a goal to the Anakie coach, Daniel Bunworth. That takes him to 5-9-39. Winch at 12-11-83 with 22 minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter here at the Eastern Reserve.
I reckon that should be 12-13. I reckon they've gone up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've missed a couple of points, they were, yeah. Sorry, Grubby.
I don't think it's going to matter.
No, it's not going to matter.
I mean, I don't think either side needs to worry about the percentage here. But look, all they got to do, they went off the track a little bit. A little bit of undisciplined football. But I don't mind a bit of that, bit of rough and tough stuff. It looks like there was maybe, allegedly, one punch thrown there. That'll put Anakie in a big bit of trouble if Darren Morris is injured and now Kennedy if he gets suspended. They won't have a ruckman at all. But look, they've got to play these last few minutes out and just see if they can kick 2 or 3 goals and make a show of it.
Back in the middle we go once again, this time forward up over the top, gets the ball down, Sawney runs onto it, got possession of it, then was tackled. Umpire says that is dropping the ball. Free kick is going the other way. And Sawney just a little bit slow to get off the ground there. Knight it is that's got the free kick. Call the play on now by the umpire, looks at his options and he goes out wide. Leach is out there, he takes the mark. Still defensive side of centre wing and now he goes longer down the line. Kick wasn't great. In front, Stevenson. He had a couple of goes at it. Yep. And he will be paid by the umpire. So Stevenson now with the possession. He goes out wide. Again, kick was okay. Found its target. Copeland. He looks back inside. His kick goes only as far as Kavanagh. Kavanagh puts the right boot round the corner. It was good. And it goes straight into the hands of Bunworth. Bunworth now plays on a little short chip. Further afield. Marcus taken out there. This time by Beattie. Beattie now wants to get it moving. And Will goes out wide. The kick won't have the depth on it. And the mark is going to be taken out there by Dunkley. And again, steady things down for the Winchelsea side.
He could have gone anywhere on the ground bar there.
So Dunkley now delivers the ball back towards centre wing. Ball runs out the back. Copeland leads in the race to the ball. Little chip along the ground with a foot. Goes back, tries to pick it up. Does so now. Got the handball inside. Missed the target though. Was intercepted. Ball through... I think it was Turner that got the ball then, but his kick went astray. And again, they win possession back to the Winchelsea side. Coming through, trying to kick the ball in front of himself is Kavanagh. He now lays the tackle on Smith, and the ball comes to ground. Umpire says no prior opportunity. And the umpire will take possession of the ball.
And while they're waiting for throw, Greater Western Sydney have just upset the Melbourne Demons, winning by 9 points at the MCG today, if anyone cares. Ball's kicked down forward. Mackenzie drops the mark for Winchelsea. Buttering up and kicking forward was Beattie, and he's found Adam Merickless, who certainly lifted his game in this last quarter. He's had probably as many possessions this quarter he had in the previous 3. And he's going to line up and have a shot for goal directly in front. He'll kick from about 35 to 40 metres out. A chance for the 6th goal of the afternoon for the Roos. And they have just really kept chipping away. And that would please Daniel Bunworth and his club and the supporters that have come up here to Winch today immensely. There's not a lot of people here today, but they'll certainly be pleased with what they've seen. So Merickless now coming in the drop punt. It's very long and it's very straight, and the goal umpire's happy. The 6th for the afternoon for the Roos, 6-9-45, Winchelsea 12, we believe 13, 85, 25 and a half minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter. They'll be happy with that last little surge, Grubby.
Yeah, they will be, and as I say, and another one. Now they need another one, because we said at start and we said in the middle and some at the end. They just keep going and going and going. They lost their way a little bit in that quarter a little bit and in the third, but they're still going and they're still trying their heart out. Quickly, Bannockburn 42, West 57. So there's an upset, and I think Inverleigh have kicked the last 4 goals and they're 6 goals up now. That game's over as well. So all games over, possibly bar the Bannockburn West game. And that mightn't be too far away either.
So we're back in the centre of the ground.
Is that a real worry for Bannockburn, getting beaten twice out there, once by Bellpost and maybe once by West?
Or particularly with
Inverleigh beat them as well there.
Inverleigh I can understand.
Yeah. If that side they presented to the media on Thursday night was the one that took the ground and they got beaten like that, it would be a problem. Back in the middle, it's Wallace and Ford. Wallace gets it down, quick kick forward by Ebel. pack developing. Bunworth's in the middle, and I thought almost took the
Nearly.
mark. Dunkley grabbed it out of his hands. He's been dragged to the ground and will have a ball up. Right on the 50-metre arc, or close enough to it, Anakie in attack. They've kicked the last goal. Got a bit of spring in their step still, even though we're 27 minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter. Wallace again gets it down, but forward butters up with a crumb, tries to get it forward. No one's going too far. It's a heap of players. Kavanagh wobbles it out. Kavanagh gets it again. He drops the ball, but it falls to Ebel. He tries to kick the ball forward. Can't. Coming through there is Goodwin, who's done a really good job for his team this afternoon. Players are dragged to the ground. We're going to have another ball up. It's about 60 metres out from the Anakie goal. They're still working hard to try and get one more before the final siren and put a bit of respectability into the side. Wallace again over the back of the pack. Jackson Smith grabs it. He can't get anywhere. He's dragged to the ground. And the siren has sounded here at Eastern Reserve. Winchelsea 12-13, 85, we believe, is the official score. Anakie 6-9, 45. That's the end of what's been... Well, the rain disappointed things a little bit because the game got a bit messy, but it was certainly fought out in relatively good spirit. We had a couple of spats, but I'm sure those boys are all shaking hands now and they'll have a beer later, which I guess, Grubby, is what you love about the game.
Well, I do love about the game, and I'll tell you what, I love the spats too now and again. It's football. It's men playing against men, and it's obviously doesn't happen as much these days, but if you're not happy with a bloke and you have a bit of a wrestle and everything, there's not too much wrong with that, as long as you don't go around king-hitting blokes and that, which doesn't happen in the GDFL at all. And look, it's man on man. And sometimes you get a bit angry and sometimes you have these little spats. There was nothing in much of it. And it happened for, 5 minutes out of a 100-minute, 120 minutes game of football. So I've got no problems with that. And the other problem I haven't got is the fact that it was wet, that it was on the ground, and blokes were throwing their bodies in, because I love that football as much as I love the classy stuff. And that's one of the reasons we come out here. We knew that's what we were going to see, wet or dry. That's what we did see. We saw Winchelsea far too good in the finish, like we thought, but we also thought we'd see Anakie fight it right out to the death, and that's exactly what we saw.
Okay, we're going to have Dale Smith give us the goal kickers before we take a little break, and then we'll work out who is going to win the Yards Hotel Player of the Day.
That's hard.
Yep. Goal kickers for the home side. Jackson Smith with 3, 2 to Ellis and Tucker and Byrne, and 1 each to Ford, Floyd, Forsman. And I think that's all for the Winchelsea side. And for Anakie, we got 2 each to Bunworth and Wallace, and 1 apiece to Harding and Miracles.
Okay, we'll take a little break. Back to you in the studio, gentlemen, and we'll come back shortly to wrap up here. Winchelsea 83, Anakie 45, GDFL Match of the Day.
Fell football action. The match of the day. Only on 94.7 The Pulse.
We're back here at the Eastern Reserve at Winchelsea. Winchelsea 12-11-83, Anakie 6-9-45 are the scores here today. Grubby, before we go to the votes, you've got the round of grounds, and a couple of the games we talked about were vital to the structure.
I haven't got the
five.
final scores yet. I'm just waiting for the final scores to come through. So we might go for a couple of minutes, and I'll
see how we go. But at this stage, we look like Invalid eased away from Werribee. With Belmont winning, that would mean that Werribee would be out of the top three. Potentially Bannockburn losing to Geelong West, which would put their top three position in jeopardy as well, with Bellpost Hill having a good win and putting Thompson's Year just about surely out of contention for the finals place. But difficulty giving votes today. I'm going to go first because these other two very clever people will then make me look like a complete idiot. And I don't mind that.
What are you going to give the cameraman the votes today? You're talking get clever.
I thought the best four players on the ground were all from Winchelsea. The man I anointed as the best on the ground in the first quarter, he was the one I couldn't fit in. I've given one vote to Lee Ellis. I've given 2 votes to Brad McKenzie, and I thought that Jackson Smith was the closest to a four-quarter player on the ground.
Yeah, well, I gave 1 vote to Billy Goodwin of Anakie. I thought he was one of their goers all day and had a fair old crack. I gave 2 votes to Copeland. I thought he was as good as I can sort of pick, and I did give 3 votes to Ethan Floyd because I thought in the first half he was just a standout, and I couldn't really work in any other player in that first half. So he was that did all the business end when he had to it early on to get them up and running, and I thought he was our best player.
So we've got 6 now. Any chance of you making it 9, Grubby?
No, none at all. I gave 1 vote to Ethan Floyd, who I thought his first half, because no one played 4 quarters, I have to do what I don't normally do and go someone who played a magnificent first half. So I gave Floyd 1 vote. I gave the only quarter that Mackenzie didn't play well in was the third, and that's because the ball didn't get down there. So when the ball was down there, I thought he was fantastic down back. I gave 2 to him, and I gave 3 to Copeland. I thought he was terrific. And the only reason I didn't give Billy Goodwin a vote, which I was going to, but he actually never touched the ball in the last quarter, and that just, and he had plenty of opportunities. You've got to get 2 or 3 touches for me, and he didn't get any in the last quarter, so I just couldn't go with him.
So Zedekiah Copland is the best player on the ground with 5 total votes for the team. He is the Yards Hotel Player of the Day here at the Eastern Reserve, and Grubby's working the numbers over there to try and figure out what the top 5 in the GDFL might look like at the end of today. But if the last score we got was as we expected, it would mean that Bellpost Hill and East Geelong would join Werribee and Bannockburn on
just
7.
Hang on. At the moment, they've just had a quick squeeze. Bannockburn and
West
are level. So just hang on just a second.
So that is good. So we know that Bellpost Hill and East Geelong are certain winners, so they will go to 7 wins each. They will draw level with Werribee, and because they both have superior percentage, Werribee will slip to 4th place at least on the ladder, and depending on what happens at Bannockburn, they may very well be 5th, and that is how tight it is at the top 4. Interestingly, Geelong West will also have 7 wins at the end of today, and with their percentage, if they are lucky to get over Bannockburn, they will be in the 5, and Bannockburn will be 6th. So that again shows you how tight that game is in amongst the top 5. So all those boys are trying to figure all that out. That's the ramifications of the importance of those games in the GDFL today. So Grubby's all over the scores at the moment. It's like waiting for Tats Lotto numbers.
Right, here we go.
Are they final? Grub,
who knows? These quarters went pretty short. That there might be some time left. So I'm not going to call them finals, but I'm going to call them pretty close because most of them don't matter. I'll just keep my eye on the bottom one, right? So Belmont Lions 8-3-51, East 13-8-86. North 18-16-124, Corio 11-6-72. Bellpost Hill 12-18-90 have beaten Thompson, or looks like it, 6-5-41. Werribee 7-12-54. Inverleigh 13-14-92. And again, at the moment, Banno and West 8-9-57 apiece. And I'll just go in to see if I can... I'm starting to get used to phones, you blokes.
I'm very impressed with that.
And I'll go to there.
I've got a slightly different machine to you, Grubby, and I've got the wrong round of matches. That's why I'm in a bit of trouble. But I've got the one connected to AFL Barwon, and at this particular stage, it's showing the scores dead level at 8-9-57.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah, so I'm agreeing with you, and that hasn't moved for a while. So because I just updated, then we presume that may be final. And if that is final, we've got a very messy-looking...
well, we have, yeah.
So Bannockburn's 2 points will keep them in second place on the ladder behind Inverleigh. Werribee will tumble all the way down to potentially... I think they'll still be fifth. They'll have a percentage advantage over... I know East Geelong got 2 points only. So Werribee will be fifth. West will be sixth. Bannockburn will be second. Belpost Hill will go up to third place, and East Geelong will be in fourth place tonight by the look of that. Some really interesting games next week, and we've got to try and find out where we're going to go. But some of those will become even more important now. So round 11, the 10th of July next Saturday, Anakie will host Bannockburn, and after what we saw today and what we know of Bannockburn, we're pretty sure the way that'll go. Likewise, Werribee come down to Geelong to play at Corio. They'll be looking for that little bit of a break after the 3 weeks they've had. East Geelong host Belpost Hill, definitely the absolute clanger match of the day, for sure. Geelong West play North Geelong. That is a very important game for them. They need to keep that winning run going. Inverleigh will host Belmont Lions, and Thompson will host Winchelsea. And with what they've got coming after that, I'm not quite sure whether a big win over Winchelsea even will save them. So we've got a very tight GDFL top 6 now. We think we're down to 6. West are still alive, but I'd say Thompson are now completely out of the race. Dale, is that the way you look at it when you view the ladder? Thompson are now 2 games and a big chunk of percentage
2
out.
games out, and if you look at some of their games coming up, I think they've got East Geelong, Thompson, Inverleigh and Bannockburn coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So, today's game was pretty important for them. So, without getting over that, I think they're going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. That is definitely right. Hard to see them making up that bridge. So the Tommy Tigers are done. We're down to 6 coming home in the GDFL finals. We'll continue to presume at this stage that Bannockburn and West have played a draw. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your company this afternoon.
Where are we going?
Where are we going?
We're supposed to go till 5 o'clock, you know.
What time is it?
4:30.
Oh, no, we can't.
Well, we won't be going till 5, I know that.
It's a bit cold to be doing that.
4:32 only it is. I tell you what, the boys in the studio would probably be happy if we knock off a little early. But just going through,
hour.
Winchelsea 83, Anakie 39, Belmont 51, Geelong East 87, North Geelong 124, Corio 72, Belpost Hill 90, Thompson 41, Werribee 54, Inverleigh 92, and just updated again, and it still says 8-9-57, each of 2. Bannockburn and Geelong West. I think we decided last week, but we're happy to change, that Belpost Hill and East Geelong was going to be the match of the day. That will be at East Geelong, but we've got any other commitments to other teams that we need to go and visit?
Geelong West is the only other one I think we've got to go and see.
You've got to be careful with West about their game changes and their times.
Yeah, that is one particular game that might be a 1 o'clock start from memory.
It could be.
And one of them is now a night game of their home games because of the
we need to get something clarified there if we're going to go
draw
and
change.
Stage.
So if that's the case, I think July the 24th, Geelong West were at home to Belmont. That might have been the one we can get to see. Otherwise, probably the only other chance we've got is... I know that the Geelong West Inverleigh game, that's a night game, the last round of the year, I think.
Well, they're gone, mate. Those 2 are gone.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, that's been updated. Sorry, that's that. I reckon. Yeah, that's round 16.
Okay,
that's been updated to there. So, that's the situation we're in. So, gentlemen, are we going to see East Geelong play Belpost Hill at Richmond Crescent next week?
Oh, I guess so. Can you just run through the games?
Yep, certainly. Anakie play Bannockburn, Corio, Werribee, East, Belpost Hill, Geelong West play North Geelong, Inverleigh host Belmont, and Winchelsea go to Thompson.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going. Just remember, we do have to see West. Right, we haven't seen them at all, so we do have to see them at some point. But that looks like a good game, East and Belpost Hill.
Yeah. Can we do a double check? If that's a 2 o'clock start, do you want to go to West? Because it might be the last chance we get if it is. And I've got a way of finding that out.
Well, yeah, okay.
You two prattle amongst yourselves.
All right,
for a moment.
can I prattle? Is that the right score? Did we get the right score in the finish?
I
I think
we believe it's 12-13.
I believe it's 12-13.
Okay. And they reckon it's 12-11. The goal umpires didn't bother to go and check. And
Well, whether I don't know what they've done there. I'm not too sure. So.
Okay.
I don't know, there's no really way you can check unless you watch the whole video, is there?
No, and I suppose with 2 points it doesn't really matter.
No.
But look, I tell you what, I've had a really good day out here in one of a good game between Bannockburn and Anglesea, according to Rob, for a lot of the day. But
yeah, I did go bad early.
look, I like the way Anakie go about their football, but unfortunately they're just not good enough. And you know, we spoke to Wayne Cuthbertson before the game, and he said they have got a few things in place where they're going to get a few other players in. They definitely need them. Next week, I don't like their chances if the big fella goes out. And you never know what happens at that tribunal these days.
Well, he's off for a week. I'd be taking it. Wouldn't be going to the tribunal.
No, keep away from there, mate. I can tell you that right now. Keep away from there. And hopefully one day we go back to having our own GDFL tribunal, because one of the blokes I've met in football with the most integrity I've ever met is Ron Lovell. I don't think he can do that anymore. But the GDFL tribunal was a happy place. I know you didn't win all the time, but you knew you always got a fair crack of the whip. And we're GDFL people, and I'd love to see that back. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But if he goes and Darren Morris is out, they've got no ruckman. And that's even worse for them. They've got even worse.
So I have the update and answer to your question. Geelong West start at 1 o'clock next week, but the following week they've got a 2 o'clock start at home against Werribee. So that might be the one.
I'm not seeing Werribee again. I'm copping too much shit as it is.
No, it's all right. You don't make the decision. We'll leave you out of the Werribee one.
That'll be what, 6 times, 5 times?
It'll be 5. But that's the best way to solve that going to West problem, but also seeing the match of the day next week, which will be two teams that we now think not only are they a chance to make the 5, they're a chance to win the premiership, Belpost Hill and East on their recent form.
I think so, yeah. I think that's where we got to go.
Yep. Yeah, all right. So and then we'll pencil in West and Werribee for the week after, and it's unfortunate we see Werribee 5 times. We can't help that. We must see West.
Yep. Suits me.
Okay, we're happy with that. So for the boys...
Just got to make sure that second week, though, that we can get our van in or whatever we're going to do. That's
apparently we can. You can just drive in the other gate. As long as it's not a double header and the GFL boys, Jason and that aren't going there.
No, they're definitely not. That 17th is clear. The days that are affected are the 10th of July, the 24th of July and the 14th of August. They're all changes.
Okay. Have we got a final score? Is it definitely a draw out of Princess Park, Victoria Park?
Well, I'll just have another little look. But so the gentlemen's here from the... video session. You'll be going back to East Geelong next week. We'll be parked beside the scoreboard. We'll have all the witches' hats out in place to keep us, but that's where we'll be going. So, Sean O'Leary, if you're listening, we'll see you next Saturday afternoon.
Righto. That'll do,
and
mate.
I'm quite looking forward to that, because that will be a genuine humdinger, because those two sides, outside of Inverleigh, they're the form sides in the comp at the moment, for sure.
Well, there's no doubt. And look, before we do go, this is probably the last time we'll see Winch, and it's probably the last time that we'll see Brendan Forsman, who's obviously given it away at the end of the year. He's going to hang around and help get a new coach and do all the right things and hopefully stay here and do something else with the new coach permitting. But I've met him a few times over his years. He's been reasonably successful. He's got them close. He had them 8-1 one year, and they lost all their players from the Marcus Oldham, and injuries desecrated them a couple of years, but he's been a fantastic coach. But the biggest thing about him is he's one of the nicest blokes that you'll ever meet in football, in life, anywhere you want. So whatever you do next year, Brendan, all the best, mate. You've been great out here at Winchelsea. I know Daniel Gretzky loves you, and you've done everything he's asked of you. And hopefully you stay here, and good on you, mate, and all the rest for the best, whatever you do in footy.
Yeah, very much so. I concur. He's always been easy to get on for radio chats. He's very open and honest, has a good view of all the region's footy, because he spent a lot of time coaching junior rep teams across all 3 leagues. So he's got a good understanding of how local footy works, a very passionate footy man, as is his whole family. And the club will miss his guidance, but I'm damn sure that because he's looking, he will help find them a very good coach to replace him.
Good. Now you've got 3 choices. 1, you can turn the heater on, find a blanket for him, or for God's sake, sign off. So he's got icicles dropping off his nose. For God's sake, sign off and put him out of his misery, will you?
It does like a polar bear, and because Grubby comes from a hot climate at Werribee, he's not even feeling the cold.
Don't even feel it. I'm in my undies here.
Sweating like a pig, he is. Thank you very much to the listeners of Pulse. We hope you have enjoyed the afternoon special Shout out to you, Ronnie Bucketberg. I know you'll be listening, and he always rings Saturday night to critique the performance, and he'll be very disappointed that we criticised the umpires today. However, there was some inconsistencies that we needed to attend to.
Well, listen.
And again to the boundary umpires, well done on your effort too.
No BFL games, one GFL game, and I thought we might get the best of the crop, and I thought they were poor. And I'll call it as I say it. And early in the year, I thought the umpiring was fantastic by some lesser lights, but I don't know if they were GFL umpires or not. But today they were poor. I got to say that, and I'm not bagging them. But who knows? Next week they go out and put in a great performance, but today wasn't a great performance from them.
No, I was just disappointed with the different approach each three umpires had. It was completely different interpretations.
Keats knows my best pet hate is blokes picking free kicks from 40 metres away the Tiggy Touchwoods, and he did that a few times. Look, the reversal, we don't know what was said or what happened, so you can't criticise that. But just some of the decisions, the holding the ball decisions, I still don't think these blokes have got that right with prior opportunity. But, it'll come.
You might be due to get your mate Keats back for another chat.
Well, we haven't had him yet.
I'll get him in there.
We'll get him in, but I'll give it to him. Don't worry about that.
Righto, thank you very much, everyone. Back to the studio to Alan and Robert. Thank you for your time and patience this afternoon. I think it's time for the Elvis Hour now, as it always is, following us on a Saturday night. Safe trip home, everybody. Dale, get home and warm yourself up. Thank you, Dale and Grubby, for your support also. This is 94.7 The Pulse, the home of local football.